Hello everybody, should we just start early? 2 minutes on the countdown, let's just screw the countdown. Yeah, that's 2 minutes of like, when all them times the countdown hits 0 and we're not back. That's 2 minutes back that I've owed you guys all this time. That I now un-owe you guys, okay? How does that sound? Amazing, right? Sounds incredible. Hello everybody. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Love to see you all in the chat and ready to party with some StarCraft 2. Yeah, we are super excited to get into some StarCraft. We got European League. Let's have a look at the matches coming up in round 3, which is going to be played today and tomorrow. In the words of Harsum, the best preparation tournament that exists in StarCraft 2 right now. These guys have had 2 days to think of the best possible builds to use against each other, and we will be seeing ByuN vs Heromarine later today. Tomorrow, Max Pax Harsum, Skillless Youth Thermal going to be happening. More action today will be Mana Sebastes, Showtime Goblin, and Cristiana young Yakov. These are all in different orders. It's actually kind of confusing. We're jumping all around the bracket, so we're going to go PvP with Mana vs Sebastes, then Mixu versus Fian. Then we come up here for ByuN versus Heromarine. Then we must go back down here for Showtime versus Goblin, and then Cristiana versus young Yakov, and we finish the day off. No, I guess Geralt Baby Marine is before Cristiana. There's an order to it, guys. It doesn't really matter too much. What's important is that we are about ready to start. And we're going to get into some PvP. So this is a matchup between two players who are 1-1. In this Swiss group stage, everyone plays 5 best-of-3s. But every time you play a best-of-3, it's against somebody else who's at the same match score as you, or you get down-paired or up-paired if there's an uneven amount of players at the same match score, which is going to start happening in round 4. But that means that Mana and Sebastes are both 1-1. Mana going 1-0 against Showtime, and then losing against Max Pax. He now plays Sebastes, who initially lost to Cristiana, brought it back against Fian, to see which of these players will get to 2-1, and which of these players will drop down to 0-3, which is very borderline, not quite going to be good enough to make playoffs anymore, I think. But there's still prize money for every series played, and so there will still be more series played as the tournament passes on by. Alright, how's everyone feeling? We've got Indy casting today as well, so I'm literally going to put his camera on, because the last 4 days of European League, you've had to have me observing, /TKL, and it's not been as the best, but we're going to follow the Indy camera today. So hardcore that I'm not even going to intro the players until Indy intros the players. Now, I really hope Indy is actually live and not just, like, collecting replays to cast later, because if that's the case, this is going to be a very, very uninteresting camera. Like, very interesting. These players are 1-1. Yes, sorry, there'll be 2-1 or 1-2. 1-2 is absolutely still good enough to make playoffs as well. You just have to win out from there. Yes, my bad. I got myself confused. Not even on my own format, just in my own sentence. It's tough, man. As we have an assimilated gateway coming down. Let me just get this underway so we get that settled down and just see what the plan is going to be. As we just have, yeah, the Cybercore coming up, the probe coming in. Couple of nibbles coming down as we do just have the low ground pylon. Obviously, this is a natural that has a ramp up into it here on Ultra Love, so you are able to kind of go for the low ground 1-gate expand fairly comfortably. Got a little bit of extra defense just because your opponent has to come up and ramp into you a lot of the time here, so that's generally very beneficial. So yeah, we will play from here and see where we get to and what we get up to over the next few moments. Cybercore coming up, Probe and Zealot on the way in. The probe going to go nibbling after the other probe for a couple of moments. Just going to be seeing that Nexus coming online from both players. So the Nexus coming up, the Stalker and the Warp Gate coming through. Got that Zealot chasing after the probe as well, so just going to be seeing that for a couple of moments. Man, the lighting on this map always makes probes look so bright, and so when you've got one player in yellow, I feel like the blue probes also look quite yellow. It's a little hard to see exactly what's going on. Ban Ultra Love's lighting settings because it could be so much clearer what we're watching here as we get ready to a rumble. We're just going to be having ourselves the Vault Gates coming up. The Stargate and the next coming through. Probe and the Adept coming online. Just get ourselves that Stalker Chrono boosting along for a couple more moments. It's going to pop out, and we continue to set ourselves down into this opening game. Obviously, you know, because of the map, we're typically seeing already just fast expansions. This was not impossible on other maps, but it definitely gets accelerated to this because of the fact you've got this defensive ramp. It's much more likely you see expand versus expand. It's much less likely someone wants to kind of risk the attack into your opponent when they are, you know, attacking into their opponent when they're going to be, you know, pushing up a ramp, and, you know, it's just going to be so much more difficult to really make something happen. So, as you see, a nice block there stops the Adept from getting in, which is quite neat. There's the Stalker will actually be there to put some damage on that Adept as well. Been doing some damage to the pylon. The battery does some healing. The Oracle will activate to scare the Stalkers off, which is not something you see out here every day. The Oracle being used defensively against Stalkers of all things. But it's obviously not a bad call. I'd say it's a pretty reasonable way for things to go. There's the couple of Stalkers come about. The Adept shades out over to that right side. Sentry, Oracle, battery, all coming back into play. The Oracle comes back down to the bottom, and just going to be seeing a couple of Stalkers still going to be there, just trading up for a couple of moments. That Oracle taking quite a bit of damage. Just going to be seeing that going down maybe in the next couple of moments. The Stalkers continue to move on through, as the Oracle will continue to get a little bit of work done as well. Stalker still pushing in, 4 workers going down. Oracle's going to activate. Stalker already taking some more hits. We'll see that going down immediately as the Oracles activate and still go after these Stalkers. I mean, this is 5 probes dead for Sebastes, but Mana's going to lose a significant number of Stalkers, which, especially when the Oracles are still up and alive, right, means that they could go across the map and maybe not have as much competition against them. So definitely something there we'll keep our eye on, see how that plays out, etc. Seeing the Oracles pulling back a little further again. 6 probes having gone down. Still seeing the Void Ray coming up from Sebastes. 2 more gateways, 2 more probes. The Twilight Council building from Mana is currently about halfway done as well. So come back up this ramp and start to push their way into the natural expansion. Void Ray activating, and again we go chasing the Stalkers back the other directions, just getting them the heck out of here for now. Push those away. And finally, maybe a little bit of a chance to settle down and just let things calm down for a little bit right now as well. It's been a little hectic, been a little bit busy. And you see the double Oracle coming across, and they are going to be going to the upper right-hand side. Two Oracles together. Looking to dive in. Stalker's going to be there. Have to turn that away as well. I mean, kind of felt like we killed so many Stalkers on the other side. There might be an opening for the Oracles, but this is not it at all. And Sebastes losing the Oracles is actually going to say GG. He does not like where he's at. He is down like 9 workers. Yeah, I mean, he killed a lot of Stalkers in the game, but really doesn't like where he's at. He does not have a follow-up tech structure, so he's way behind on potential Twilight. I mean, he's got Twilight on the way, but obviously does not like where he's playing from. So he's going to say GG. Our first match of the day goes to be a fairly quick one, as Mana hosts us into Persephone for a second game of the matchups. Alright. And take a moment, we dive right back into the StarCraft 2 Persephone coming up as our next map here. And we're gonna get this going. I really felt like Sebastes killed enough Stalkers, but I don't know, man. I mean, he isn't down 9 workers, don't get me wrong, but maybe if you keep the Oracles alive and they truly get to chip at the work count, then you like it, but yeah, just down 9 workers, your Oracle's dead, you have no advantage in the game anymore at all. Like, you've got, like, nothing is in your favor at that point, actually, so I don't completely disagree with the sentiment of, like, oh crap, this ain't good, I'm out of here. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying I don't know for. I do think his position was bad. I guess I was just surprised at when he left, but then I guess I was surprised he lost the Oracles, right? So, makes sense. As we get into game number 2, in the bottom left-hand side, looking to get back on the right path here in the WardiTV European League. We have got our blue Protoss player, Team Liquid's Mana. Taking on the yellow Protoss player. Up in the top left-hand side, we're going to see Sebastes. game number 2 of the series. We're going to kick this off and get this underway. Well, the simulators coming up, the gateways coming through. We just have the probes coming up as well as we get settled down for a few moments. The workers going to cross the pathways toward each other here. And we just have ourselves the gates coming up, probes on the way, getting settled down for a little bit. Let's just get ourselves build up for the next couple of moments. So we get settled, we get rolling, see where we're going. Gateway will be continuing up for the moment then as the against Cybercore comes through. So probe just goes back and forth, the Cybercore and the gateways coming in. Zell coming by as well. Is just going to get everything set up for a couple of moments. That probe's still on the way out. Cybercore finishing up over on the other side as well. It's just going to bring that straight over. And the sentry will get into place for the moment. It's just going to bring that straight through. The probe comes down and it's going to nibble at that pylon. It's going to nibble at that robo facility as well. It's just going to continue to bring that up and online. The Zealot gonna go swiping along, just gonna be hitting the pylon for again a little bit longer. Probe is just gonna still hit that probe, and it's gonna be a really nice scout from Mana as Sebastes' full-on proxy play is figured out. Now, obviously, you're gonna get rid of one pylon here, but we have the pylon on the other side. This robo will be powered, and I can only imagine we've got units showing up in the next couple of moments that are going to say hello and thank you. Let's actually protect this robo and, you know, keep it alive. It's the adepts that show up. Prism on the way initially from the robo. Mana has obviously seen this, and he instantly goes robotics facility against it. So his preparation in this defense is already being made. As we do see one Zealot going down, a couple of sentries will step up. And just have, again, battery coming about. And yeah, we continue to get going for a couple of moments. Next, it's just about to finish. Again, the warp gate coming through, the adept on the way. Robo facility still continuing across right now as we just have a couple of batteries still being added into play right now. The Immortal is chrono boosting along, just going to be seeing a couple of sentries coming over, the couple of adepts are going to continue about. The force field 2 going down as the adepts are just going to continue to dive for the mineral line, but they took a ton of damage already. They shared one back, the Immortal on the way up. I mean, at this point it feels like Sebastes has to put all hopes on the Immortal helping to burst to the front. The second battery already going to get put down. Having that first battery so far back is lovely as well. Like, that is just untargetable. So it takes away an opportunity perhaps from your opponent where, you know, in another situation you'd have the potential to maybe target fire down the battery. That doesn't really exist in this scenario. You do save these adepts, and 5 workers get killed, so that's not bad for Sebastes. It's just you have to do work with this Immortal coming in, and your opponent's going to have a robo of their own, pumping out their own units. So it's really going to come down to micro. We've got lots of adepts. We are up against the sentries. It's the batteries as well, which are going to be the issue, right? Having to work against those, and that's going to offset a little bit of the micro potential that the Prism provides currently from Sebastes. He does have that second Immortal very far along. It's definitely a major helping hand. You can see Mana is respecting the concept of, hey, he could drop into my main base and just kind of avoid attacking at the front. Obviously, if you do that, that's going to be a very fun couple of moments. He's firing up some shots. The Immortal will take some damage. We're going to play her back to the other side. You'll see the Adept going down. Immortal needs to be saved in the Prism. We missed the pickup. GG's, and Mana is going to take the 2-0 to advance to 2-1 in this group in the WardiTV European League. We've had some very fast going matchups in the European League so far. And this is going to be another one of those. As, yeah. We speed through the PvP, and we look towards a ZVZ. So it's going to be Fian versus Mixu, Heromarine versus ByuN, Goblin versus Showtime. This round in general had a bunch of mirror matchups. So we're going to do 4 mirror matchups to start the day. Then we're going to wrap the day up with Marine, Geralt, and Cristiana versus Yakov. So I think it'll be a fun day, but it might very well be a fast day, especially if the ZVZ and PvP have a quicker tendency to them as well, as we already had the first PvP storming through. So, yeah, but next up is going to be Fian versus Mixu. We just take a couple moments, and, I mean, we're 15 minutes ahead of schedule. Fian's online, but he's in an arcade, so maybe just warming up or so. He has a few minutes. We're not going to rush him to be starting in the next 10 seconds or anything. We can wait a little bit when this far ahead of schedule. No worries. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. You missed time tomorrow's games on TLNet? It's okay. What time did you put them in at? Ooh, 20 hours from now. It's okay. Fix it. I don't know what CET is. UTC is though. 28 hours, it should be 4 hours later, maybe. So maybe like this. Should help. Cool. Cool, cool, still. Appreciate you putting them on TLNet. It used to be my job, you know? Like, it used to be my thing. Like, every single time I made it to him, I was like, I gotta upload it to TL. And nowadays, it's not as necessary. TLDR is just not as necessary anymore, you know? It's nice. It's just one less thing I have to worry about every single time. Big positive. Big positive. Alright. We're just waiting you guys to chill in a little bit here. Take a few moments. Like I say, Fiant is, he's warming up. He needs a few extra minutes still, which is okay. Like I say, we are significantly early, so... You'll notice that I make the open Wikipedia on the Sundays sometimes. Well, I don't make the Wikipedia at all. But, yeah, I mean, I think the problem is they used to make the Wikipedias earlier, but then I stopped making the challenge pages quickly. Once we get past EWC, I'm hopefully going to be able to get a little bit more just ahead with the challenge pages and stuff. I'm going to batch make them again, like make them all for a month ahead of time, so yeah. You use the previous week to make the TL. You can also just... Oh, does it force you to have a Wikipedia to make it? It might, right? Any game started yet? Yeah, we actually have already had our first PvP of the day. It was a speedy best of 3. What is up, Zombie Grub? On the 106-month resub. Crazy. Imagine that. 106 months. That is... I just resubbed to Loco 10 minutes ago for 102 months. 106, just... Clearly me and Loco ain't that friendly, you know? Now me and ZG are besties. Who knew? Crazy. Oh yeah, like I said, we're just waiting for Fian. Like I said, he's got a few minutes to warm up. There's no worries waiting here. We're just chilling, chatting. And hopefully soon start crafting. Great chance for you guys to ask any questions. I know you guys surely have burning questions at the tip of your lips, right? On the tip of your tongues, I should say. Ba, 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 ba. Geralt vs. Baymarine would be nice to see. Yeah, it's coming to play. We will cast everything. Every single... In the European League, everything gets streamed. So Baymarine vs. Geralt will be... That is scheduled for 7 PM BST, which is... So that one's like Series 5. Sorry, I myself am confused about the order of the matches tonight. So, yeah, don't mind me. Don't mind me. Yeah. I usually use Liquipedia, but Liquipedia is not set up well because Liquipedia really wants the matchups to be set by like the upper matches, the matches with the 2-0 players, then the mid matches, which are the 1-1 players, then the lower matches, which are the 0-2 players. I think I would have just wrote it down as like the schedule that it's going to get played in still. Like if I want to see, I mean it does make it clear, to be fair, I guess who's who. It does not make it, it makes it easier to read after it's being played, but it makes it much harder to read while it's being played, I guess. I guess that's the way of explaining it, I suppose. Is it easier to do a Swiss bracket or group stage? For adminning? Probably just a group stage. Like Swiss is kind of rough because I have to tell all the players. So, for example, you have to have all the matches finished to generate the next round of matches. So you have to make sure all the matches get played. You have to be a little bit stricter. And obviously, it plays over a certain period of time. So, like, I mean, I guess in theory, if you're like, hey guys, we need all, you know, if basically you were just like, look, we're going to run Swiss on one day, I guess it would just be kind of just as easy. Because then everyone just plays round 1 at the same time. As soon as round 1 is done, boom, we go into round 2. But like having it spread out like this, it's a little bit more difficult because you got to schedule check like 24 players. You got to make sure there's a contingency plan in case one guy can't play or they need to pre-play or something like that. Stuff like that, basically. So. Yeah, I agree, Cynic. I actually think it's, like I say, like I say, like, it depends what you're looking at Wikipedia for. Like, I think when you look at Wikipedia after to see the results, it's really nice to have them ordered by the top guys, the mid guys, the lower guys, right? But I think when you're looking at it as the event's going on and you're like, oh, what's next? Obviously, it's chaotic, right? Especially because there's no logic to the order in which I put the matches in relation to the scores. So yeah, I think overall it's better as it is. It's just like during it just makes it a bit more confusing. That's okay. You can literally click the I and see. It's my fault, yeah. I should have put them in the right order. Blame the players not being available 24/7 every day. But yeah, I guess Swiss is a little bit tougher admin wise, just because, like I say, you have to make sure everyone's played. There's more. Everyone playing bet 5 vs 3s is about the same number of matches overall, I guess. I don't know, I guess it's just, you know, handling 12 players per play day instead of handling 4 or 5 players per play day is always going to be tougher, right? TLDR. So. Are the players videoing? Yes, they just did their final video, so map pick coming through in a moment. I mean, honestly, like, adminning StarCraft events is not very difficult at all because the StarCraft players are pretty well organized and they all know how this works at this point in time, you know? So, you know. You know, according, you know, realistically, like, adminning StarCraft 2 is not very difficult at all. Like, there's very rarely a problem. Like, that's why I don't hire an admin for the Monday Cups or anything. It's just, it's completely unneeded, you know? It's just not necessary in the slightest, so, yeah. Like, on the Monday Cups, like, yesterday, I had to go quiet for, like, 1 minute because I had to log on to Korea and help 2 people find each other because the Korean server chat channel was bugged. It wasn't even, like, an issue between the players. It's just, if the Korea server wasn't dumb, it would have been no problem, you know? So, yeah, admin in StarCraft 2 is really not that bad. You have a bigger event, and you have to make sure people have vetoes ahead of time and stuff like we paid casters, we paid admin, sorry, for the Caster Civil War. That was very worthwhile, because obviously I had a lot of other production stuff to do, and every single game there was another player coming up, so we always had, like, the next lobby hosted already and stuff like that. That, like, really helps. I think for, like, the typical format that we do and stuff, it's not really needed, you know? Open Cups, it's not really needed, like, maybe very rarely there's, like, a bit of drama between 2 people, but it's just not really the case, you know? Honestly, like, it just doesn't really happen in StarCraft. Like, StarCraft's super boring in that regard. Like, players just admin themselves. Like, I logged into StarCraft 2 today, and the first thing that happens when I log in is I get invited to Mana vs Sebastes. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's the first matchup. Because they're already just here, vetoed and ready to play. I didn't tell them what veto to do, or, like, to get started, or to be ready, you know, 7 minutes early. They were just both there, so they decided to veto, they decided to host the games. They already had the map order, so they hosted game 2. Like, I literally did nothing, you know? Apart from, like, 3 days ago, I messaged them the match order. So, yeah, like, adminning in StarCraft 2 is, not so bad nowadays, honestly. I mean, obviously, sometimes it's a bit weird. Like, someone DCs and they're not coming back, you've got to make a call on when you DQ them and stuff, but... I mean, honestly, that sort of stuff's pretty rare as well. I mean, we've had like 43 Monday Cups, for example, and I don't think there's realistically been a proper admin problem in a single one, you know? So, yeah. Some players are just more reliant than others, Wardy. Yeah. Sebastes is a great guy. He always makes sure his opponent's ready. I probably messages them on Discord to get them online. Because, yeah, all of his opponents have been bang on time, ready to play. Shout out Sebastes. Really doing the God's work, making all the players look good. Yeah. Mr. Mana, genuinely one of the most reliable players out there. Probably only screwed me over like twice. And that's just a guess. Because surely at some point over the last 10 and a bit years, you had to screw me over. Something came up one time. Surely one time, somewhere. Who knows? I don't keep track. Maybe I should. Maybe I should have maybe I should have always just kept a Google sheet of just like when players cancelled on me or when players were late for me or something like that, and I could really just be like, you know, really keep track of who to give terrible seeding to, who to invite into the group of death, who not to have on a day where I needed to run smoothly because I've got IRL stuff to go to afterward, you know? Yeah. It's a bit late to start tracking that stuff nowadays. Maybe if we go back. We just go through all the Wardy VODs and listen to me complain about players and just start tallying it up from there. Maybe that's the plan. Couple lings, gonna fight a couple lings. Couple lings gonna nibble. After taking some damage. Yeah, we're just gonna get to fighting, man. Link speed coming up, alien nest coming down. We get a few drones on the way up as well. Got some work done as we take a couple of moments to get those lings nibbling. Alien nest coming up. Nothing really super crazy early on here. Very standard opening for the early stages. Everyone looking pretty happy about this at the moment, as we just have Queen gonna get there, Zerglin gonna get pushed away. Other Zerglin gets to the hatchery, just gonna push that away a little bit as well. Rotron coming up from Fian, so he's going to get that Rotron set immediately. This is going to be, a match between two players at 0-2, so this is a matchup where if you lose, your playoff potential is pretty much in the bin. But if you win, not only are you guaranteeing yourself some guaranteed prize money for winning this best of 3, but you really do keep yourself open with the chance of making playoffs. I do think Mixu and Fian are underdogs to make playoffs overall, but you never know. You never know who you meet at 1 and 2. Preparation tournament, you get to prep some builds. Maybe there's a way. Mixu with that fast +1 missile upgrade. He comes in off of playing a ZVZ yesterday as well. Or in the previous, not yesterday, but in the previous round against Scarlet. He played some close games. Kind of felt like he turned one game around and should have won it, but he was not able to get there in the end. Bling's gonna fight each other. And missiles coming up, we take a few moments. And the layers just coming through on both sides, so we get all of that tech set up and are rumbling here. A couple of lings gonna run at each other. The lair will be finishing sooner from Mixu. He's just ahead on the text right now, so Mixu just has the drone lead, the tech lead. He just has the lead, realistically, as Fian does not really get many drones there either, so Mixu in a bad position. Obviously, the one thing... I mean, basically, Fian makes 5 roaches that are not really being used right now either, so this really is just all about Mixu in these early stages. Definitely loving his spot early on, but let's see where we get to. Let's see what comes about as we settle ourselves into the next few moments. Ling's gonna find another couple of Lings to go for as well, so just gonna see a little bit of action there. Nothing too crazy. Everything's still going very comfortably for these early stages. Gonna see the Queen get onto the Overseer. And the Overseer will take a few shots of damage, so taking a couple of hits. It's gonna get pushed over the side. Obviously, a lot of scout will continue at this stage. Well, that continues to come online as well. So again, just a little bit of setting up, a little bit of getting everything going. Roaches are already popping out. I mean, we already got +1 and moving into 2-1 here for Mixu. His upgrades are starting to look good. So he is, I mean, like I say, Mixu's just had a natural lead in this game throughout. And he's definitely benefiting from it right now as he comes across the map with these roaches. Now, he doesn't have an upgrade lead when this fight happens, because +1 missile about to finish from Fian. He's going to have roach speed as well. This is more so going to be a question of, can you keep this sort of kind of group of units on the map and maybe do something from there, or what is the plan going to be? Those roaches will step around. It's going to be seeing the Queen going to get in toward the Overseer for a couple of moments as well. And yeah, Roach Ravager, Carapace, and +2 missiles. A little bit of everything coming up for the moment here. So still getting ourselves settled in and getting ourselves feisty as a few roaches drop bars toward one another. +2, +1 coming through as well. We are seeing a few roaches showing up over on the sides. We're going to take a little bit of a skirmish. A little chance to smash into this mineral line, and well, not a bad thing to kind of jump in and to get some damage done, right? As roaches will get cleaned up. Mixu still leading by about 20 supply here. I mean, Fian can hold the defensive position a little bit, but actually gets supply blocked, losing the Overlord, unfortunately. So that's going to be quite a little bit of a tough scenario as well. Another Overlord very nearly got biled. Mixu will find himself having to retreat away, but man, he is moments away from +2, +1, and the advantage of having those upgrades is truly pretty huge. So that is probably going to be a pretty hefty deal in the very near future, if we're just being realistic right now. So yes, this is, I think fair to say, looking good for Mixu. I mean, he actually backs up for a couple of seconds right now, so he's not going to continue forward just yet. Thought he might take the chance to stay on the map a little bit more, but I'm going to play it a little bit safe, backing it up, and just, I mean, I don't think he's backing it up for long. I think there's going to be very soon a pretty committed continued push in again, right? So I do not think we're far away from seeing that come to life. And as the roach is going to be there, the drop load lifts back up, pulls away for a couple moments. Fian's getting close to maxing out, so maybe we are missing a little bit of an opportunity here, no? Maybe a little. Maybe a little bit of a reason to be a little cautious. Don't want to just completely give up your advantages, right? Can actually take this fight. We have Hydras as Fian, which definitely helps him a bit. Obviously, if they can stay in the back and stay alive, they provide good DPS. The problem with Hydras is that they kind of fill in a very similar role to what Ravagers fill. Only they don't have... This is going to shock you guys. They don't have Corrosive Vials. So you don't actually have that ability to kind of bile at your opponent as much. Whereas if those Hydras were Ravagers, you would have the increased DPS with the kind of fragile unit while also having the bile. And I do think that goes a long way. I feel like not having that is fairly impactful right now. So yeah, Roach Hydra is still gathering together. Take a few moments to settle back into play. As Fian did push Mixu back, and he has survived that kind of initial scary wave. I really think Mixu should have been more aggressive when he had the chance. I feel like he backed away and gave Fian time to get back in this game, and now Fian is actually in a way better spot. In fact, Mixu is struggling when it comes to supply in terms of rebuilding. He's getting pushed back away. He's been the aggressor, and he's been punished for being the aggressor, and now Fian actually might have a chance. He's going to run up this round and try and turn this game around. Opening game of this best of 3 for these two at 0-2 in the tournament. super important series, and it's Fian who's coming back from the deficit and starting to just jump on a base that apparently Mixu cannot begin to defend. He backs right away from it, continues to kite, trying to use those corrosive files. Now he's going to be in a choke against the spread out army, concaving in front of his natural, so that makes it almost impossible for Mixu to come back through, and that should mean that Fian is easily going to kill the third base, could probably run over and kill the fourth as well. Depends what Fian wants to do, because he could also sit at the front and actually push into the natural as well, maybe. It's kind of hard to pick a fault in what Fian does next. Realistically, at this stage, he just has significantly more. Mixu is just all gone downhill. Letting his opponent get to Hydras never should have really happened. He was actually teching them nicely himself, and just... he's never going to be able to get there, because now he's desperately building units to try and survive. These few Hydras in the back still surviving as well, so just continue to crank out the damage in this scenario. As long as the Hydras ain't getting hit, they are going to be doing work, and... now, this has been absolutely fantastic stuff. The Roach Hydra continue to shove on forward. Now looking for some Ravages, looking for some Roaches. Damage being done across the board. And this really does seem as though we are going to have ourselves a pretty darn convincing game. ByuN takes the first game. I say convincing, I mean convincing ending. Obviously, it was not convincing at all. He was super behind early. It went so badly wrong. And yet he brings it back, gets back on track. GG. And we will be heading into game number 2 in a few moments as Fian takes the 1-0 lead in the best of 3. I do need them to tell me what the second map will be, because they did not announce that just yet, so I'll give that a couple of moments. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, by the way. We've already got 500, 600 people in here, 100 people on the YouTube. Thanks for watching the European League. Hope you guys are all feeling great. And, yeah, it's nice to stream in the evenings a little bit. Like, I know I really don't stream in this time frame a lot. If I'm streaming right now, it's because I'm still live off the earlier tournament, but actually starting up at this time is something we don't do a lot. I do want to try, I say this a lot, I do want to try and do a little bit more kind of, you know, focused European stuff where we start a bit later in the day. I know my mainstream time's going to remain through the day and stuff, but I do think it's nice to mix up and get to cast in the evenings sometimes, so yeah. It's nice to be here and casting a little bit, as we do have everyone joining us in the lobby, ready from the 2 players. Let's click start and get round 2 of this ZVZ going. What's up, Famkind SC? Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. You're doing great. Thank you so much for the support. Hell yeah. Thanks for your hard work. No worries. Thank you so much for supporting it. This entire thing doesn't happen without you guys. Thanks for your hard work of making money so you can come and use it on the channel. You know? It's a team effort. I'm just the host. Without you guys, we really would not get very far, honestly. To be completely honest with you guys. So yeah, shout out to you guys as well. Shout out to you guys as well. Alright, we are gonna take a couple moments. Take a couple seconds. Ready up a little bit. Get into this next little bit of action. As we have Mixu in the top left and Fian in the bottom right. Obviously, Fian taking that 1-0 lead in this best of 3 after the turnaround in the opening game. Imagine Mixu gets ByuN gets Mixu for round 4. Look, ByuN. Look, at this point, ByuN is just. He's just having the tournament that was not meant to be, right? Like, he's not having a good time. He's had a lot of difficult opponents. It's really not been an easy time at all for him, so I really hope he gets back on track a little bit, man. I really hope life becomes just a tad easier for him, you know? Just a tad. Like, ByuN came up with so much hype from Home Story Cup, and then he just got bammed in the face by his first 2 opponents, which is... yeah, just absolutely brutal, the players he played against, to be honest. Nothing else to really add to it. Nothing crazy to say, just... yeah, kind of wild. And gas pool all coming up and online, so we get sorted out for a couple moments here initially. As we get ZVZ underways. Having the Overlord obviously coming across. Overlords will be a big part of the scouting consistently in this matchup, so getting those out and across in positions early goes for a lot as well. Couple Lings will fight another couple of Zerglings over here, so a little bits of damage being done as they find a way to nibble up at each other. Some damage dealt. Ling speed on the way through. And yeah, nothing too crazy. Just for now. I think Heromarine can beat Geralt. I think so too. I think it should be a fun match if nothing else. Yeah. Forward to that one later today. I actually think the two final matches today are great. I mean, I think actually a lot of the matches are very good today, just we really do start strong with a lot of mirrors, which takes a little bit of the excitement out of it, right? But, you know, we had to have a lot of mirrors at some point. You know, I expected the PvPs, but to hit a TVT and a ZVZ in the same round's kind of unlucky. It's just the way it is, as we do have the hatch going down here. So that's a nice cancel grab. These Zerglings continue to step forward and look for some more damage. Ling speed will finish shortly. The Baneling Nest coming online. And again, those few Zerglings just stepping toward the other side of the map. So Fian looking to try and get some work done in these early stages. Get those Lings across and try and be somewhat competitive with them for the next little while. Things will trade up against a few other Zerglings. Rotron coming through, Hatchery coming online. And the Ling's actually going to take a second to back it up right there and just fall away for a few moments. Rotron's about to finish. Hatchery still building. The Queen firing up on the Zergling. Both the Queens actually getting some shots on the Ling, and it will go down. A couple of Banes turning about, getting some damage done as well. Again, Drones, Evo Chamber, Overlords, all continuing to produce on through for the moment. A little bit of the Ling Bang gonna run about there once more as well. I mean, always looking for the chance to get some kills. Quite a few Lings go down there on the bridge, so a little bit of damage found. I've got Roaches from Fian moving across the other side. So this is obviously pretty committed. The thing is, I feel like we're prepping pretty nicely for it as Mixu. He's making Roachling of his own off 40 workers, and Fian's already building drones as though readying to kind of follow up from this, so just going to get that straight into play. The Ling Roach continuing about for the moment. And the Ling Roach will continue over. Evo Chamber coming about. This upgrade coming through. Roach Ling will continue to produce. Baneling connects. A few more shots coming around. The Lings and the Roaches come about as well. Got a few more shots going about. As you see, the Roaches continue to pull back for the moment. So again, pulling away for now. Escaping on out of there. So yeah, the Roaches just keep pulling away. A couple of seconds. Now we see the Lings escaping down the bottom side, so we have those being chased as well for the moment as the Roaches continue to make their way across. The Lings going to get by. The Lings get turned the other way again. +1 missiles coming up. The lair is coming through. 7 additional drones coming in. The Lings get on top of the Queen. That Queen will go down. So the Queen will fall. And +1 missiles over, halfway done from Mixu. Fiant is a little bit behind on that, but he has a couple workers lead. Obviously, I mean, it has been a bit of a back and forth one in terms of getting set up here initially, so got to keep that in mind as well. It's definitely been a little bit of a factor so far. A couple of Banes going to get cheekily morphed in over on that side, by the way, too, so just going to see those getting set up a little bit. You know, as far as ZVZs go, I mean, I appreciate we've ran across the map a bit. There's been a little bit of skirmishing with Ling Bane, but we're not going overly aggressive with the Roaches in the end. Both players are going to start teching it up a little. When Lair is there for Mixu, he does need to start that Roach speed. Being down Roach speed is a pretty big disadvantage, right? Because you end up in that scenario where if you don't have the Roach speed ready, then your roads just get completely outpositioned. They can be chased down. You can't ever retreat away. He's actually just sending it off. Well, he starts roach speed now, but I mean, he was looking to send it, no? Like, he's building overlords. He's building only roaches. The thing is, he's not going to hit before roach +1 is done from his opponents. There'll be no upgrade lead. At first, he had a bit of a supply lead. He's actually backed up a little bit. He slowed it down. He's adding some drones. So he's going to push, but he's not committed to the push. He has the follow-up that can go elsewhere still, so... a little bit of a scary couple moments. I mean, Fian is going to say it's scary because he starts 2 spine crawlers, so he's going to prep himself to try and survive these next couple of moments as well, if possible. So the preparation does begin. Overseer getting chased off over to the edges. Will be on its way down. As the rest of the roaches coming through. Being chased just a little bit as well. Roaches on roaches. As we get over here, a couple are going down already. Fian continue to chase on up. As you see this fight just breaking out. I mean, Fian doesn't have the supply to necessarily really fight here. The benefit is Fian has roach speed, so you can actually run away from the fight and reset. I can understand seeing no roach speed if your opponent want to jump a little bit, but that was just not the numbers game that Fian should have been playing for. And Fian is, again, behind significantly when it comes to numbers of roaches in this game right now. He's down by 40 army supply, which is a very significant number. It's not like one player has more tech either. Like, right now, it's purely roaches. Fian is only just now morphing in 4 Ravagers. Those are the first Ravagers that are going to hit the game. So it's been a completely, you know, tech-free kind of game. You know, just roaches, roaches, roaches. And now we're going to start seeing some of the Ravagers getting to come to the stage to try and help out as well. Roach Ravager to that left-hand side. A few Overlords there. We'll maybe eat some Biles. Bye-bye. See you later. Just 2 missiles and the burrow coming up on the side of Mixu. The roaches will begin to fight for a little bit. Those roaches will continue to battle forward as we do see. Actually, a chance here for Mixu to dive in. And Fian just does not have the numbers at all. And looks as though Mixu is going to tie this series up 1-1. This game really just got away from Fian, huh? Mixu was just mining more for 5+ minutes and kind of just grew that into an army lead. Like, Fian played catch up at one point, but I think Mixu had just established enough of an advantage. And that takes us through to a game 3 of the ZVZ. Hey, this is the, 0-2 matches, guys. At this point, players really are meant to be very well matched up against each other when it comes to Swiss 3 rounds in. I don't necessarily think that coming into this, these guys are guaranteed to be 0-2 or anything, but I do think these two should be competitive with each other. So, we will see what happens on Persephone. To round this series out, which of the two will get to 1-2 and which of the two will go to 0-3. Again, all matches get played. Even at 0-3, you're probably not going to make playoffs, but you still want to play because obviously you get money for every single series, so, there's still a chance there. And there's also WardiTV points for the 2025 series. Get yourself a chance to qualify into that. That's something which I think, especially these guys, even a few WardiTV points here and there could give them some extra qualifying options into that end-of-year championship. So that's going to be something else to keep on track of. And just to think of, like, right now it's not super important, but, like, in 4 or 5 months when we're talking about the WardiTV 2025 championship and who can qualify, getting a few points in the European League might make the difference for some of these guys, right? You look back and you're like, well, if you just win a couple best, it might make the difference. That's all I'm saying. As we get ready to hop on into Persephone for this next game, it is map 3. It's a deciding map. And hey, a series not going 0-2 in 15 minutes. I'm all about it. In the top left-hand side, we have got ourselves the yellow Zergi. It is going to be Fian taking on the other Zergi. In the bottom left, it is Mixu. As we have Sweden versus Finland in this best of 3. And our Swedish Zerg player, Mixu, our Finnish. And we settle down and take a few moments to get underway, guys. So we can get this all up and rolling. Let's see where our game 3 will take us. I mean, we've got a couple guys kind of set up a little bit aggressively at points of this, right? So that's definitely one thing we're immediately going to be kind of watching for here. A few drones on the way through, the hatchery coming up as well. Just got that hatch gas and pool coming straight through. Nice and early on. Lovies making their way across as well. How are we all doing in the chat? How's everyone's day been? Hope everyone's having a good start to the week. I'll just take a quick moment just to remind that we are here today and tomorrow for European League, and then I'm away for the weekend. Helen's birthday, taking a little trip away for the weekend, so I'll not be here for the next few days after Wednesday, so Thursday through Sunday. Back next week, we'll be doing pretty much the same deal. We'll have 3 days of content, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday next week, which will be Monday, WardiTV Mondays, European League, and then European League again. And then I'm traveling to EWC pretty much, so obviously we are in that kind of pre-World Championship content/tournament drought where there's just not a lot going on. I'm also getting ready to travel and stuff, so yeah. Obviously, once we get back from EWC, there will be a bunch more tournaments coming up and about, so I look forward to all of that. Something else for you guys to look forward to. Like I say, just we're going to have WardiTV Summer Championship, obviously wrap up the European League, then Summer Championship's going to come around, and there'll be continued WardiTV Mondays. There might even be some smaller WardiTV events on top of all that. We're really going to kick the 2025 series into gear and get everyone playing, get everyone, continuing to compete in StarCraft 2, and give everyone as much opportunity as possible to keep on participating. Couple Lings going to hit the hatchery for a couple of moments. So hatch will take just a little bit of damage, the Ling speed coming over. And a couple of Lings will, again, just do their thing until a couple of units show up to say, not anymore. Push back the other direction. Again, nothing too surprising just yet. Happy weekend away. Is it an outdoorsy? No, we're going to London for the weekend. Gonna go see a show and go to a couple of things in the evenings and just having some food, just chilling out a few days. We did an outdoorsy. We do outdoorsy ones with Ellie every now and then, but we did one of those like not that long ago actually. It was like I don't remember what month. It was last month. We went last month, like early last month maybe. We were there when the Bulgarian tournament was going, when ByuN Gens was going on. Because I figured I wouldn't be able to do anything that weekend, so we decided to pop out and into the countryside for a few days. And then typically ByuN Gens ended one day earlier than expected, so I was still away when we could have when I could have maybe streamed. So I tried to make a good plan. Doesn't always work out though. Doesn't always work out. I mean, that's also the case with StarCraft 2 sometimes, but no one's really making a great plan or a wild plan or any sort of plan right yet. Just Lairs coming up. I mean, there's plans obviously, but I mean, just Lairs coming up is not the most exhilarating of things. Just starting to get that tech ready. No Roach-Run from Fian, or did he already have it? Yeah, he's already got it, so I was looking for differences to pick, but honestly, I mean, Mixu has been a bit greedy on the drones, and that is becoming a little bit noteworthy perhaps, so, a couple extra Banes start up here, the Lings start to come across the map. We'll just take a few moments and let this develop. Plus some missiles coming in, by the way, as a couple of Banes are going to get grabbed. Just going to jump on those nice and quickly. Couple Banes going to get busted. These drones do get away, so Fian does not find damage. And once again, Mixu just has that worker lead. I feel like this has been a consistent thing. Every game, Mixu has kind of been getting into that worker lead early. Definitely has given him some good positions. Has not always been able to capitalize on said positions, but has been getting into some good spots early in these games so far. So excited to see that perhaps continuing here once more for him and see if Fian can kind of undo it once again. So what's up, Unstoppable Pork? Thank you so much for the 32-month resub. More StarCraft! Well, that's a sub message I can get behind. Hell yeah, thank you so much for the 32 months of resubscribing, supporting, and being hecking awesome. Super appreciated. Thank you for being awesome. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. There's a couple of Lings coming about. There's the +1 missiles coming through. It is a Spire from Mixu, so it's gonna, I mean, in previous game we saw Fian get into Hydras, which always is something of a prep against the Spire as well, if you can get Hydras up. But I don't think he's on his way to any Hydras just yet, so we'll keep our eyes on this, as the Spire will be finishing very shortly. And we just take a few moments, then again figure out what we want to maybe get done for a little bit. Roach is just going to show up here from Fian. I mean, obviously, as Mixu, you're meant to be kind of behind on the Roaches at this stage because you're building up the mutas. As Roach is going to come diving in, the mutas will sit overhead and try and do their thing a little bit. Roach is going to go back and forth on the wrestle here. We do have a couple of mutas still helping to chase down as well, so they will make their way across. Obviously, the big fear here is going to be dealing with the mutas overall. Fian actually does have a Spire of his own up. Does he want to go into Corrupt as a defense? He doesn't really have the gas to do anything super significant. I mean, it's only 4 mutas right now for Mixu, but that number will grow. We'll see Mixu lost 1 base very quickly. Fian is getting the Hydrogen and the Spire, so he really needs to decide what he's going to build as his response to this. Either you, I think, honestly, I don't think Corruptors are a play right now. I actually think you either go mutas of your own and outnumber him, or you just go Hydras. What's he going to do? Hydrogen finished, Spire finished. Hydras take a little bit more investment to get to, because obviously you typically want to get the upgrades for them as well. It's going to be 6 Hydras. I actually don't hate it, because Mixu's going back into Roaches. It looks like it's only going to be this handful of mutas. I mean, that means to me, I think Hydras obviously can deal with that fairly easily. But I also think that, honestly, you could have maybe, as Fian... I mean, obviously, it's scary, right? But if you make the call to, like, make your own mutas, and then you get more mutas than your opponent, then it actually becomes very awkward for him, because then he either has to make more mutas or just sacrifice his mutas and then also map control and also get an answer, right? And it does create kind of a weird phase of the game. See the little bit of Roach Hydra there, going to be pushing those 3 Roaches back. This Hatcher on the left side will go down as well. Hatchery falling, Roach Hydra pulling over. Another Hatchery going to come up into place right away. Just +2 missile upgrade, bailing speed, continuing out for the moment. We're going to knock down these rocks, which would have been cute if the Roaches were still kind of running through them. Now I'm not going to do quite so much. We've still got a few drones there, so the mutas are doing their work. And the Banelings are coming up from Mixu because he's basically saying, cool, if you're making Hydras, I'm going to get an answer to the Hydras. Banelings are super powerful. Banelings in the army of Mixu are going to be worth more for each supply than the Roaches are on the opposition as well. So Mixu's army is actually going to be very powerful, but it's also very, like, one bust and you're done, because it's going to be super expensive, ton of investment, and once those Banes bust, like, you're either going to break through or you're not, right? Like, it really does kind of get simplified like that in a lot of ways. Roaches coming up, and it's not good for Fian to be running already. Having to run this early is a little bit of a scary concept, as we do see the Roaches and Hydras getting caught as well. So it's not just that he's running, it's that he's losing units while he's running as well. So he does end up in a very tricky scenario. The Banes are going to start coming through to crash in as well. I really like this fight for Mixu so far. I think it's setting up very nicely here for our Finnish Zerg to get in and to really put himself in a good position. The Roaches continue to bust forward. He's got the +2 missiles, the +1 as well, and I think it's fair to say that we have just done a little bit more here for Mixu than what Fian has been able to do himself. The mutas have absolutely been able to find enough damage. The Roach Hydra has not been good enough from from Fian. I mean, he actually built the Hydras, and they haven't even really stopped the mutas yet, you know? Like, it really felt like the mutas just continue to do work. And again, Mixu was just getting into those better work counts early as well. Definitely able to get some advantages there. It does seem as though we're going to have ourselves a Mixu advantage. Going to get to 2-1 in this best of 3, and would also then make himself 1-2 in this group, which, as we've already mentioned, is rather exciting in terms of what we will be seeing over the next few rounds. Mixu going to keep himself very much so in the competition. I'm going to try and get to Lurkers, which, I mean, you're behind. You got to take a risk, right? I do not hate him taking a risk of trying to get to some super mega tech units where if your opponent steps back, maybe they can help you survive and stay in the game. The reality is that he's just completely outnumbered, and so as long as Mixu is attacking, this is not really a realistic kind of way to save yourself, right? And I think that's basically just what we're seeing right now is that Mixu is not going to stop attacking. He is just going to look to end this game and absolutely push his advantage and make sure that it is completely gained here. And the Series E will wrap up over in Mixu's favor sometime soonish. Unless we're really going to drag it out.
Game paused.
600 pings is Mixu. I do get the feeling he could probably finish this game on 600 ping, but better safe than sorry. And of course, we see things a little bit more easily than Mixu, what Mixu does as well from his point of view, right? So, maybe cautious, take a little bit of time to just get the ping sorted, hopefully not too long. Not fun for Fian. You're already getting absolutely beat up on, and then you got to pause because your opponent has some ping, and you're just like, oh, my goodness. Not loving it, you know? Not loving it at all. Alright, well, hopefully just a moment or two. Not a long-term problem. Looks fine now. Just wait for Fian to give us a go-go. You can't unpause Mixu. You do not have that power. I do. The unpause into GG? Question mark? It may very well be. I mean, like I say, if this army gets cleaned up, there's going to be another army just the same size coming across the map. Right now it's coming across in a string of reinforcements, a little bit of burrow, throws of battles and some drones that is not really necessary, but may as well do everything you can. We get turned away. We're going to need some reinforcements to just come in and clean this up. We're almost at a 100 army supply lead as Mixu attacks for the win in this best of 3. GG. Mixu 2, got 1 in the series. And that will be Mixu, like I say, advancing on forward to the 1 and 2 position. Now we're actually going to be switching from some guys that are at 0 and 2 and in not the best of spots in the group to some guys that are actually in pretty good spacing. ByuN and Heromarine at 2 and 0 are going to face each other next in a TVT to determine what is going to happen. So we'll just get the video started and we'll get ready for that Terran versus Terran coming up next. Like I say, guys, ByuN and Heromarine going to be next up for us today. And it is going to go ByuN versus Heromarine and then Goblin versus Showtime. It's actually a very cool matchup at 1 and 1 as well. 2 players that absolutely could be 2 and 0 right now. I've also had some tough opponents, so yeah. And then we drop down to the other matches as well, a bit further down the line. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it is going to be ByuN Heromarine. That video went up. Will just be a couple minutes. I'll see you guys very soon. Welcome back, guys. As we head into ByuN, Heromarine. 2 players at 2 and 0. I love having Heromarine in this tournament. He's the red Terran in the bottom left. Because, to me, Heromarine always... I don't know how serious or how much he really cares about this event, right? But, to me, he's always the sort of player who plays his best when he is out here and having time to think about who he's going to play against and having a bit of time to kind of come up with a little bit of a particular plan. Head of EWC, I'm not sure if he's really coming up with a particular plan of how he's going to play TBT against ByuN in the European League. But I'd be interested to see if he does have something, as he's already proxy raxing, so let's see how that goes. ByuN in the top right side, one of our non-Europeans in the European League. Of course, he's allowed to play because they're playing European server, European time zone, and he qualified through those conditions. We are no longer region locking people out. We're just going to be running kind of preferential servers and stuff if we do tournaments like this in the future. It'll be the same when we do Korean Royale Season 4 later this year. Everyone can play, but you gotta play on the Korean server. And ByuN so far has made it 2 and 0. He's looked pretty darn good in doing so. Let's see how he does against a micro heavy opener on Europe against the toughest opponent he's had to face so far in Heromarine. And he's not doing exactly a build that's going to help him either. The one gas opener is not ideal against the multi-rack Reaper, so not great. Now, ByuN scout timing is very important because it allows him to not build the CC, and instead, when he sees no racks in the main, he will build double bunker and spend his minerals elsewhere instead. Starts to scout out left with the Reaper, but actually needs to be scouting. Obviously, we can see over to that right-hand side in comparison, so may want to try and step in that direction soon, but the Reapers are going to show themselves to that SCV, so now you know for sure what is up. That means that you can't, I mean, maybe SCV on the map wanted to go proxy starport or something crazy, but yeah. Let's see how the defense looks like, obviously, ByuN. I mean, the scout was at the right time to give you a chance against this. Factory still only just now coming up because he went one gas opener, so you do not have as much gas early. Let's see how he defends as we have... This Reaper goes down for Heromarine, actually. Oh, good grenade from ByuN actually helps a lot, so 2 Reapers for 1. The only issue we have is we are building Marines now, so we will not have another Reaper for mobility. So we have the Marines, we have a bunker. We keep that one alive. We do have the Hellion on the way up, which should help a lot in the long run as well. So, there's some better places. As Heromarine back at home, going to finish up his own factory very shortly. But still like more with this opening, I feel like. He's not had enough just yet to really just say, yeah, this was great for me, you know? Jump up from the other side, trying to see what's up, but still not really finding much of anything. Reapers actually going to get the SCV building the command center there, so that'll be the next pickoff. A couple other Marines are going to step back for a few moments. Let me just take a moment or two as the SCVs are going to pull in. But the Hellion here, it feels like a more comfortable defense, but he's only going to build the one Hellion, which is a little risky. He wants to get into that tech lab on the factory and starboard ASAP and start building some better teched up units. That's fine as long as you defend this. I am afraid that we're losing a lot of HP on these Marines, and that's going to make life a lot tougher. The Hellion wants to capitalize, though, gets rid of 1 Reaper. I mean, anything you're picking off right now is nice. This Heromarine is going to go into a Cyclone already. He has that out, and we will see ByuN looking to respond with a Cyclone of his own as well. So that is also coming through as we talk. There's the Cyclone. And we're going to have the barracks for high ground vision as well. This basically becomes a mini Cyclone war. As ByuN gets the lock onto a Reaper. They get that kill. Obviously, the Orbital providing the additional vision needed to track that all the way forward there. The Reapers in the Cyclone gathering. The Raven is going to try and come around the back for the auto turret? No, that's just a mistake from ByuN. He just rallied it terribly, quite frankly. It was, yeah, it was not meant to lose the Raven. That was just completely unnecessary as well. Like, he just rallied it bad. Oh, we are going to lose the Cyclone as well. So Heromarine is going to be able to nab that already. Bunker trying to salvage, but actually got locked onto, so will be cancelled for the moment. As ByuN finally fights his way down to the low ground. He's getting down to the low ground in a completely fine position. This is scary. Oh, he gets rid of the lock-on because I guess he did just run out of range for a moment. He is going to lose the Cyclone still, but the other Cyclone is stuck in the corner. SCV is helping to chase it. This should be dead. He tries to get a few more kills at the end, but that will be that. And the Cyclone goes down. And ByuN, I think, finally stabilizes what we got for the medevac. Another Cyclone. ByuN has a Cyclone and a Banshee out, actually. The Banshee starts to go across the map directly. A couple of Marines are obviously not going to have the greatest of time, but the Cyclone, yeah, it just depends what you want to lock onto. He chooses to lock onto the medevac. Banshee there for vision, but the boost is good. Banshee revealing itself too, but I think we just need the Banshee here to help deal with this defensively as well. Like, I actually think we need the Banshees to deal some damage output to the opposing Cyclone if it drops off. Barracks goes down, and we get to reset a little bit. And finally, this game might calm down for a few moments. As Heromarine has been in control, he's been kind of dictating the pacing and what's been going on. He has himself a Interference Matrix upgrade cancelled. He was actually going into decides not to. Just one Raven for him, now straight into Viking production. An additional factory as he starts to look to play mech here against ByuN. Moving around the top, looking to get into the back of this main mineral line. One on the stem coming through. Auto turret drops down. The Cyclone very nearly went down. Now does get the chance to lock on. The Marines zone the Raven off to the right side. It's going to die. It's a really nice catch. You know, anytime you can stop the Raven from sitting behind your mineral line and just getting kills throughout the game, amazing. And ByuN doesn't have Vikings or anything either, so great to get rid of it. You know, if he had a Raven right now, his opponent would be dealing with it because, you know, his opponent's been going into Vikings. ByuN is not going into Vikings. That's something he's decided not to do just for the moment, so I'd say this remains to be pretty fine here. I mean, ByuN is definitely behind in workers. I do think Heromarines' setup has been better. I think he got a lot out of the proxy and the follow-up aggression. But ByuN will fight. And like I say, taking the Raven down gives him a little bit more fight in the game still. Vikings gather above the third. Love the patience on that Banshee. Wants to find the most awkward / random timing to show up at. Give itself a real chance of actually making something happen still. Appreciate it. There's a lot of worlds where that Banshee flew in already and the Vikings just smash it down and got one SCV perhaps. It's gonna be tough for ByuN. Playing behind against mech. The problem with playing against mech is obviously that mech plays very slow and you're meant to like out-expand it, you're meant to out-position it, you're meant to do a lot of things where you just do things quicker than mech. But when the mech player gets the eco boost early and gets the advantage early, so much of the initial... It's so hard to build the momentum you're meant to originally have against the mech army. Like, they are just ahead of where you are at. So by the time you finally start to think about harassment and stuff like that, they're already really solidified on 3, going to 4 bases. You can see here, like, ByuN's starting to be on the map right now, but Heromarine is not far from a 4th base, right? He's got the CC already building. And I mean, he's very well set up on the 3 bases too, so I just don't imagine there's a way for ByuN to do much. And that's not great, because the longer this goes, the better the mech army gets, and the more you regret not being able to do much as the bio player. I'm very interested to see what ByuN wants to do in the end. He's playing currently in production only bio units, and I wonder if that's going to be a continued thing, or if he is going to start up some siege tanks again. ByuN is one of the few players who I genuinely think can play a pure bio at this highest level and actually not be trolling, you know? Most of the time, I think having, you know, factory units is almost always going to be a benefit. But ByuN is very good at army movement. He's very good at understanding where units are meant to be, where they can be, and so on and so forth. and usually really gets a lot of value out of that kind of concept and that information, right? So you see the medevacs loaded up. Obviously, I mean, this army's looking huge from Heromarine. We're not far from him pushing onto the map. ByuN needs to be on the map, ready to greet him, ready to backstab him, ready to make him regret making any kind of a move out. Ideally, you don't let the 4th base go up, but that's more easily said than done, so we shall see. Heromarine is actually just going to very systematically work over to the 4th, so yeah. Like I say, more easily said than done, because that 4th is going to be very well protected from the start. But the more that the mech player expands, the more spread out they are, the more openings there potentially are for the bio player to figure out what they want to do. ByuN has gone back into tank production, so he did cut it for a few production cycles, but now he's going to add on a tank and an additional factory, so I think he's recognizing maybe that pure bio is not going to get him too far, and he is going to start getting some tanks up so he can get some defensive lines built and ready to be active in these next few stages. Heromarine works up the left, and we do see the immediate counter from ByuN. He knows what he's got to do. He strikes the one place that doesn't have a sense tower, which is the natural. Gets into the main. I mean, honestly, pretty good drop. He finds the one opening that really exists. He is going to get dropped himself, though. That's Hellbats in those medevacs. And they are not messing around, right? ByuN's got to figure out a way to fight this. Like, it's going to be a lot of damage to get through all of that. He's already starting to lose SCVs as the Hellions get across to the left-hand side, so he's cut off from his reinforcing bases. Marine supply block with ByuN is choked by this Terran army on the other side. That mech force is just sat there. And it doesn't have to be quick from Heromarine. He can kill those SCVs slowly. As ByuN launches another attack over, as just a bunch of bio that's stimmed across the other direction. Hellbats get rid of a siege tank there too. Big deal. Any tank you get rid of is going to be a huge factor as ByuN tries to go in. He ran out of stim just as he's going in, unfortunately, so he does not have the speed while in the siege tank range. He will finish off a couple of tanks, but he lost a few more units than maybe he needed to. Oh, he's going to try and bust this right now. He's just going to run past the Hellbats. That is not going to be it. There's no way. As Heromarine takes the early game advantage, and he is going to run with it here in this opening game of the Terran versus Terran. CC tries to float down to the low ground. The siege tank goes down. A little bit of bio still nipping at the refinery. A few more SCVs coming over. I will just step towards the center. A couple siege tanks in the middle are going to get caught again. It's going to be seeing those getting grabbed. The Vikings lift back up into the sky. SCVs step over as well. The bio continues to chase those Vikings and medevacs away. For the moment, the supplies actually do level out a little bit. ByuN did force Heromarine to get back home. And so this game goes on, but still can't exactly imagine this being a long time. I mean, everything about this game tells me that ByuN should not be doing good, but like I look at the supply, I'm like, I believe! my inner ByuN fan looks at the supply and believes. My inner TVT kind of knowledge kind of yells at me like, what the hell are we believing for, you know? It's heart versus mind at the moment for sure. Heart versus head, I guess. Man, even just ByuN's buy-ins are just so heavily stimmed, man. Like, they are stimmed up hard right now. It's absolutely brutal. It's going to be tough for them, no doubt. Fire stepping up, tank going down. Oh, medevacs wanting to fly over for the moment as well. Aliens getting into reach. The shots coming through. Vikings gonna fire. Bion's gonna get there. Hellbats going down. We do have the siege tank going down as well. Vikings going to shoot. Medivac's got some shots off already. It's going to be seeing units coming in from two sides. Pretty good connections right off the bat. The Vikings continuing over. Continue to head in for now. Just going to see this Bioforce continue to dish out the damage. ByuN supply really did trail off in the end. The mech army is just too resilient, and ByuN needs like 2 more bases to be trading like this. Like, resources lost isn't terrible. Like, for bio versus mech style, it's pretty fine. But you need 2 more bases, and that's the whole issue with what I was talking about with the early game, going the way of Heromarine. It really stopped ByuN from being able to get into those competitive positions with the bio army. Just with what it's meant to do against the mech force, right? There's some force coming in later, and this game is kind of cool, but we're still biocentric, and yeah, I think the reality is that, yeah, ByuN probably actually made pretty good fights of this. He just needed to save the 12 o'clock. He just needed to have another base coming up because he never got into a siege that took him so long to break out of. So, yeah. Cool game, though. I think what Heromarine did was very smart. Took a lead in a way that's advantage to you. You force the micro against someone who's got a bad ping at the very start. And then you just play a very, very solid style from there. That requires a lot of micro to really kind of do well against as well. I feel like ByuN is basically being asked to do all of the things he doesn't really want to do when playing on the European server of all places, right? So, I think credit to Heromarine, because it's really his choices that have made ByuN have to play probably one of the more difficult kind of game styles here overall. And yes, guys, this is the European server. It's European League. It's not region locked, but it is server locked to Europe. And we only don't play on Europe if both players agree to play on a different server. So, for pretty much, I mean, Skillers and Percival. Skillers agreed to play NA against Percival. Didn't even agree. He just said he will play NA. So, yeah. I mean, if the guys want to play NA, sure, but obviously you shouldn't. You should play Europe. This tournament is designed for you guys to do well. It's not designed for the Koreans. We're not going to block them out, but we're going to make it difficult for them. And the same will happen later this year in the Korean Royale. So, GG says ByuN. And Heromarine is going to take the opening game as ByuN takes his first map loss of the tournament. Like I said, I don't think we can be too surprised by that or anything, so yeah, not too much of a shocker. Not going to have that map number 2. It'll be top map if we do get to game 3. Alright, but we'll see if we get there or not. What's up, Scaffler? Thank you so much for the 5-month resub. Good to see you today. Hope you're doing fantastic. And thank you so much for resubscribing. Really appreciate it. Alright, we're just missing one player, one caster. And we can go. I think ByuN is... yeah, he was just in the replay for a second, so we'll invite him through, invite the other caster in. And we should be able to roll into this second game of Terran versus Terran. I just got some ads rolling, guys, between games as well. Gotta support the StarCraft, you know. Gotta make that moolah. Ready and go goes to the players, though, so you guys will just... if you're in ads, you're just gonna have to miss the first minute of the TVT. Hopefully we don't proxy rax. Even if you proxy rax, man, like, it's not like proxy rax is gonna kill a guy in the first 2 minutes unless he literally scouts and leaves the game. In which case he missed nothing anyway. So yeah. Like, really nothing happens in the first 2 minutes of StarCraft, right? Is that true? It's not true. It's not true. No action happens, usually. 99% of the time. Like I say, it has to be like a scouted proxy and some SCV micro or something. Anyways, the ads are necessary evil, so we must go through them. As we have in the top left-hand side, taking the 1-0 lead in this BO3, it is going to be Heromarine. His opponent in the bottom right, the blue Terran from the Shopify Rebellion, is ByuN. Not a great map for Reapers. Not surprised to see no proxy racks this time around from Heromarine. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to on game 3 if they get to a game 3. Yeah, it makes sense not to utilize on this map's layout. Little SCV scout across the map. Taking our chance to see what's going on. Nibble, nibble, nibble. SCV gets chased away. And the CC building from both players off of the single gas opener. Kind of funny. They do the same thing. Heromarine scouts and ByuN doesn't. ByuN truly believes that there's just no reason to proxy Rex on this map, so he just believes in the no scout. And Heromarine just a little scared not to scout, which puts him behind by a little bit of mining, right? That's a little bit of eco in favor of ByuN early. It's a marginal benefit, but by the time that SCV gets all the way back home, we're talking about, you know, a chunk of minerals that do delay your build by a few seconds here and there, and you know, seconds add up in StarCraft too, especially in those mirror matchups, so... Wow, triple CC immediately from Heromarine, though. That is a bit wild. That's a super fast third. Now, you can take a fast third a lot of the time in TVT. But... that's just... I mean, usually you go 1-1-1, then third CC, right? More around 4 minutes. Third CC, there's like a TVZ 3 CC, right? Yeah, super quick on that to get it up and running. That is kind of a little wild early on, to be honest. Reapers will move up the left-hand side. Just going to step forward a little bit for a few moments. What a wild build from Heromarine. 3cc, no starboard. Just directly into like heavy Rex play. This is a ByuN kind of build, to be honest. Like, this is the kind of build, like, you cover the names up and it'd be like, hey, ByuN, what are you doing in this game? Because, like, he's really just, like, rushing the bio off of greed. It really fits into ByuN's persona. And we'll see the Banshee coming across from ByuN. See if we can get some damage with this. There's a Cyclone that can be used defensively, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Reaper at the bottom, trolling away. A group of units from ByuN going to start moving out. Heromarine just wants to put that super fast third to work. Heromarine gets the first Cyclone kill. Successfully locking onto and exterminating that Hellion, but the Banshee shows up, and that means the Cyclone's out of position, so a few SCVs will go down. This is actually pretty serious damage for ByuN. 4 workers killed right now. Gonna make it 5, gonna get 6. I mean, this Banshee is on a suicide mission. Did not manage to reach forward for the final kill of its career. It's gonna be stuck on 6 at the end. Still in combat, 1-1, all coming up. We do see the tank and a few Marines coming over as well. There's going to be some a few Marines getting there to hit the Marine on the watchtower. Well, those double medevacs load up. 50 Marines going to be boosting up that right-hand side. So they're going to be getting up to the top. You have 1-1 upgrades on both sides. That combat shield coming in on the side of Heromarine. Bringing that over for the moment. Heromarine just has a supply lead already. I mean, he's just being mega greedy, and ByuN is going to come and kill him. That's the MO of this game. Is that ByuN's been Heromarine, sorry, has been super greedy, and ByuN has been super aggressive. Like ByuN says, 3rd CC, never heard of us. 3rd CC. Yeah, 21 SCVs dead on this drop already equalizes the work account. It's a little bit less pressure on ByuN going across the map, although we're still not on a 3rd base. You still kind of need to do something here. Yeah, the drop's going to keep some attention in toward the main as well, maybe giving you the chance for everything else on the map to get set up, but the tanks need to be sieged. Oh, that's not good for ByuN. He's going to lose all of those tanks. The medevacs have nothing to do here. Don't get me wrong, the drop in the main was nice originally, but he needed so much more than this, and those medevacs start going the wrong way as well. This one has fallen apart quickly for ByuN. I actually like the idea against someone who is as greedy as Heromarine, but I actually think that this variation, because it's like a 2-base commitment, I almost feel like the 3rd CC of Heromarine was so quick. It's had so much time to benefit him and to bring other units into play that wouldn't have been there typically. So I actually think the greed was so early versus the aggressive response that it actually had time to pay off for itself. Like, the fact Heromarine was, competitive in army supply already kind of tells you the whole story, I think. But this, if this was like a no-stim, like 1-1-1 push off of the 2 bases, that could have punished the fast 3CC. But the 2 base kind of like all in, like I'm going to push at like 8 minutes because I've got all my upgrades and this is just going to be pure unit production. There's just been time enough for that 3rd CC to put the SCV count in place and to get the economy and to just have extra units in place anyway. This is going to be right now. Heromarine just attacking straight across the map. He's not going to respect ByuN too much here. He knows he's got a good position, and even just trading out right now is fine for Heromarine because he's trading out in a very advantageous way. Because his setup behind this is very advantageous. GG's, and Heromarine takes the 2-0. Pretty fun TVT. I think an expected result once ByuN starts reaching this higher level of opposition on the European server. It's going to be tough for him, and I think Heromarine played in a way that really abused that as well. More so in Game 1, but in this Game 2, I think Game 2 was a cool, risky build out of Heromarine that 100% paid off. Because maybe, also ByuN is not super confident being super aggressive on this ping either, right? And so he's more comfortable getting a few more units and then being aggressive. And so the 3rd CC so early kind of got away with it. Pretty darn neat. Guys, we're going to take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back on camera after this. And we'll go into our second half of the matches this evening. We're going to have Showtime versus Goblin, some PvP up next. Don't go far. As we also have some bangers after that as well. So we'll see you guys very shortly for more StarCraft. Alrighty. Talking about going to be our opening map for this PvP between Showtime and Goblin. Get this hosted up. Tokamak, Leylines, and Persephone is going to be the order of maps here. Let's throw this lobby link up and we'll get this ready to party. 3 best of 3s remaining. Goblin versus Showtime will be followed by Heromarine versus Geralt, and then we're going to have Cristiana versus Yakov to round it out tonight. It's a pretty fun set of matches. All in all. Yeah, Heromarine gets to be our first 3-0 player in the competition. Pretty much guarantees him playoffs. And obviously now, really good chance for him to fight forwards into the chance. You know, he's basically fighting for a chance to be like top 4, because top 4 start in the winner bracket of the playoffs. It's one less day they have to show up for the playoffs. Straight away as well, so that's already very nice. And yeah, definitely pretty neat. Alright, let's ready, go. Everyone's set, so we are literally just waiting on me clicking the start button. So let's do that and just dive into some PvP action here and keep the StarCraft 2 coming to you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us for some WardiTV European League action on a beautiful Tuesday evening. It's actually quite nice here in the UK for once. Yeah, nice little Tuesday evening. We're back tomorrow for Wednesday evening with some StarCraft 2 European League as well. I've been really enjoying this tournament. It's a really different format. It's nice to do something a little bit fresh again. One of our main goals in the 2025 series is to basically have a different format for each tournament or each major event that we have as part of the 2025 series. So the European League here already being like Swiss is kind of, you know, reaching out a little bit and doing things differently. I've actually really been enjoying it. I actually think it's been a really cool format. Preparation comes into play. Just, yeah, it's genuinely been very fun to see. And getting to kind of just roll through like 6 different matchups where the players aren't repeated as well is kind of nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's like benefits to all formats, but it's been nice to see this one just having a strong showing. It's been a strong format enough so far. I think I'm already happy to say that we would do this one again in the future at some point. So put it in our back pocket and keep it for tournament next year, maybe. Yeah, it's been cool. Alright, in the bottom left-hand side, the blue Protoss player in this PvP is going to be Showtime. He lost his first series of the tournament to Mana, then bounced back against Heromarine in the 0-1 matches to be 1-1. While Goblin had the opposite experience. Goblin got his win initially before he lost out to Heromarine and ended up at 1-1 himself. Goblin's first matchup was also PvP. Now, I can't remember who he played. I feel like he played Protoss versus Protoss. It was... yeah. Oh, no, sorry. It was versus Nicorax. He's actually only played PvT so far. So now going to play some PvP here against Showtime today. I mean, I think you've got to have Showtime as the favorite going into this, but I don't think by any stretch you look at this and say, yeah, you know what? There's no way Goblin wins this, right? I think it's, you know, PvP makes this a lot closer than if Showtime was, say, like a Terran player of his own level against Goblin right now. I think PvP keeps this very competitive. And don't forget that Goblin's been playing extremely well. I mean, he very nearly made it to EWC of all places, man. Like, he was nearly there. He was 2 maps away. So he is no slouch. He's definitely not one to be doubted, but... again, this is the difference of a player who qualified at EWC versus one who was close but not quite close enough, right? So, like I say, edge to Showtime. PvP helps make it a little closer, perhaps. And Goblin going to bring it a little closer right away in this game because it's going to be the Robo on the map. Is it going to be the Robo? I think it's going to be the Robo. That's my call. T-Stalker's already on the way up. Yet to put that proxy down. There it is. Robo facility starts. So we will begin with the robotics facility here, and Showtime expansion already down. 1 gate expand straight into the sentry initially. And figure out what's up, that would be huge for him. Ideally, the problem in these scenarios is you don't know what's going on quickly, right? So ideally he just builds a robo, and he gets, you know, robo-based units up, and he's going to be in a very good position. The problem with that is that that doesn't necessarily keep you safe against a lot of other things. If it's a Stargate, you're in a ton of trouble. So... a Stargate of your own is much safer because it's kind of a catch-all build, but it's not as strong against certain of the other builds as well. It's going to be tough. Double sentry into the Stargate is going to be very low damage output units for a while, and that does give you, I think, a huge window here as Goblin to get in and really hit hard and to make Showtime's life difficult. The sentry's getting healed up by the battery for now. Second battery starts right away. Of course, Showtime does have the hallucination scouting to keep him aware of what's going on. In the main base, at least, obviously, he does not necessarily know where to... oh, no, he did see the Robo now as well, so he actually does get the scout on that as well. So now he knows exactly what's up. The Stargate is about to finish. He will have to build a Void Ray here immediately. There's no reason building a Yeah, I've seen a couple of people play the Phoenix against the Robo Opener, but I think it's very risky as well, and it really relies on very good lift timings. I think the Void Ray overall is a little bit more cozy, as we're going to lift up toward the main with the Prism. At this point, you're just trying to find openings, but the battery on the high ground keeps you very safe as well. It does get drained of energy, but it did its job, right? This first little Prism play didn't do much. Although now you could also say that that battery is drained. Maybe the Prism did its job, and it can come in and hit that position again later. With an empty battery is not going to make it as defendable for Showtime as it was immediately. And the Adepts are going to cancel their Shade. We do have Force Fields available, so Showtime going to get locked out of his natural a little bit. The benefit of having a Void Ray is the Void Ray doesn't care about Force Fields, so that is one more bonus here. As it will just sit, activates the Prismatic Alignment. Do not love the Stalkers attacking into the Void Ray with Prismatic up. Second Void Ray on the way. Like I said, that was scary for Showtime. The Adept Shade got him to move back a little. This time he's going to have him probe in position to battery block, so we will not let the Adepts in a second time. And the Adepts actually just shade to the back, and they're actually going to take the unit's attention. It allows you to target down one, now two of the batteries. Uh-oh, no batteries means that the Void Ray is super exposed, and that's going to be a problem. Goblin has Showtime on the run. We need batteries, otherwise this Void Ray is never going to be able to join the fight, because it just gets targeted down. The whole point of this defense is the batteries keep you so safe. Batteries on the bottom right side of this base right now are depowered because there's no pylon with them. Oh no, the Void Ray goes down. Second Void Ray probably is not enough yet, and I think Goblin is just going to take this out. Very, very solid build from Goblin, and I did think it was always going to be difficult for Showtime. I mean, honestly, the Adepts made all of this happen for Goblin. The Adepts are why Showtime had to move up to the main before. He recovered from that, but he was also in the back of the natural, and he never recovered from being there. And Goblin is going to take the opening game of PvP here against Showtime for a 1-0 lead. Again, these are two players at 1-1 who I think we both, expect both to really have a good shot of making playoffs. But the reality is, like, one of these guys is going to go down at 1-2, and we'll have to more or less win out to have a chance at playoffs as well in the rest of the matches. Like, it's a little bit crazy that one of these guys is guaranteed to head on down there. That's why this format's fun. It's going to put some pressure on. I mean, I'd hate to be the guy that meets Showtime at a 1-2 match scores. Like, my tournament life probably depends on this, and I'm playing one of the very best Protoss players in Europe. Yikes. Especially when you look at some of the other guys at 1-2, like, 100% can make deep runs, but, yeah. Like I said, that's part of why this format's been really fun, because you see some cool matchups, and each match is super meaningful as well. Like, right now, we're still talking a lot about the playoff possibility and so on. But again, every match is worth prize money on its own individual basis too, so crazy. What's up, Dominator? Thanks so much for the 52-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting. I guess I will just take a quick moment. Is it officially sellout time? Do you guys think we can deem it sellout time at the start of this PvP? I think we can. Welcome to the sellout stadium of ley lines, as in the top right. Our red Protoss player is Showtime. In the bottom left, the blue Protoss will be Goblin. But yeah, just a quick mention. Obviously, guys, this is a WardiTV tournament, and so I'm obligated to remind you all that this tournament series happens because you guys support the stream. Whether that's a follow, or if you're on the YouTube, a like and a sub that are free to do, and you just come back and watch more in the future, or if you've got a Prime sub sitting around, you've got it available. Helps out a whole bundle. There's also the Patreon page, where 100% of your pledges go directly into StarCraft 2 tournament prize pools. You can find that at patreon.com/WardiTV. That's one of the best ways to support the tournament specifically, if that's what you like. But like I say, any support is appreciated. It all helps towards these tournaments continuing to happen. And yeah, we want to continue to bring these up as often as possible. There's the TLDR. TLDR. Probe, chase and probe, Cybercore coming through, Gateway coming up. Let's take a few moments to get it rolling. The probe nibbling at the other probe. I'm just going to be seeing the Cybercore and the Gateway coming through. Solid on the way up as well for a few moments here. Get that underway. And so, yeah, Probe just gets chased back on over to the other side for a couple of moments. Already dropped down the Robo, so it's going to be Goblin just to proxy it up again. Now, Showtime is so far doing the same thing. Will he have a better response to us this time around? It's going to be our question. Sentry chasing, Rogue getting chased. Getting hunted for just a little bit. Two more gates for Showtime. Okay, so he's going to have a lot more units this time, so he's going to be kind of power with power. He's going to really just have, like I say, a surge of units available to him. We'll see if he gets any tech behind this at all. Obviously, defensively positioned with sentries to kind of force field your opponent out can be very powerful here, so I imagine that's a major part of the plan that Showtime's kind of working on currently. There's a couple Stalkers ping away, the sentries step through, gates and the batteries coming up. And the Stalker's still chipping away for the moment. And we have the couple of depths and the Stalkers just gathering up then for a little bit. Moving around a little for now. Prism attempt is actually very scary because that's going to be very close to going down. We will not get it, but man, it's already low, and that's actually huge for the future. Because it means that that Prism is so much more targetable, and that's obviously massive. If you can get rid of that Prism, you take so much opportunity away from your opponents. That would be absolutely huge. Mortal, the Adept, and the Sentry coming about as well. It's going to be seeing the Adepts. Going to shade forward for a second. The units gather up. Force field's coming down, the Stalker pulls back, the Stalkers and Sentries together go after that Warp Prism for a moment or two. Just again going to be seeing the Mortal and the Pylon continue to come online as we get ourselves the Robo Facility, the batteries all coming by at the moment. Just going to have ourselves the units going to step up at the front, going to step in for a moment or two. Force field's coming down, a couple Stalkers going to get hit. Shots coming back the other way, Prism will continue back and forth, Force fields are going to fade. I mean, at this point, you've got Showtime, who's kind of buying himself time. Has his own Robo coming up, another battery coming down. I love that the Robo's on the low ground, by the way. Gonna allow him to really kind of get the units into the important part of the fight very quickly. Again, good force fields, just utilizing these sentries very well so far and really making the most out of them. Making sure that every force field counts up until now. Goblin, though, going to make a bit of a further dive forward. We had some Stalkers in the main base. Now the one Immortal of Showtime shows up. He will give up some probes here. Can afford to lose 10 until this gets even, and realistically could lose a few more than that because he's got the 2 bases to rebuild from. We are going to chase this away, and there's the Prism going to get hunted down. It is super close to falling. It will go down now. That takes the micro potential out of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, 3 Immortals are still super powerful, but we are getting Immortals up of our own. We have still got batteries which have energy on them. And that is huge overall as the Adepts shaded up toward the high ground, but the block is there, and so Showtime will not let those Adepts in. Why is he fighting where all the batteries are? I don't think he has much choice, no? Like, where else is he really meant to fight? I guess out here, Showtime steps onto the map. I feel like that's more Showtime given the chance of that to happen than anything else. I mean, he can't really go into the main base because the Stalkers were there to zone the Prism out initially, so... yeah. I'm sure that maybe came across as an idea, but doesn't quite deliver in the end. Prism coming over. We do have obviously 3 Immortals still available here. It's going to be a big deal, but man, there's a lot of other units to get through. The Adepts are super tanky as well. Like, Immortals just do not kill Adepts, and that is genuinely, at this point, a pretty major issue. President gets up into toward the main base. So we're gonna nibble. Prism takes damage. And Phoenix on the way up for Showtime too. So he's gone to a Stargate. The Stargate is nice because if you get Phoenix up, it's really a hard shutdown on the Immortals and the Prism. And being able to lift an Immortal in a fight's huge, and then can't micro back into the Prism as well. I think Showtime's okay here overall anyway. The Phoenix with a lift. There's no anti-air as well, so you can't, shut the Phoenix down during this. And now we're just gonna continue to fight this out. I mean, Prism micro from Showtime available, allowing him to keep his Immortals alive, and Goblin says GG, as he admits that this is a little bit too good from the German Protoss. I'm going to see a Game 3 again. How lovely. Second time we're going to get to a Game 3 over 4 best-of-3s. I'm into it. Persephone will round the series out as our final map of this best-of-3. So, we'll host that up. We'll get this ready. Should be good to go in a mere couple of moments. Everyone arms, get the players invited through. Interested, do we see the same build again from Goblin? Showtime just shows so much potential to recognize now the switch up needed and immediately has so much of a better defense against it. That also comes down to Goblin doing the exact same thing, right? That's the power of all these proxies, is that there's a lot of different ways with these proxies to kind of abuse, to kind of abuse a Protoss, and not every response is going to be, great, right? So we dive into Persephone, game number 3 of the best of 3. And Goblin and Showtime go to war here. Let's see what happens. How's everyone feeling in the chat? Hopefully great still. Hopefully doing good. Stay. Last mirror match of the day. I know it's been a slew of mirror matchups today, guys. But we have a couple of non-mirrors to celebrate with at the very end of this, which is nice. And then tomorrow we have less mirror matchups, I believe. No, we still have no, actually, tomorrow we have 3 mirror matchups. It is less. No, actually, tomorrow we have 4 mirror matchups too. This is just a very super mirror matchup heavy round, unfortunately. What is going to be fun is, obviously, from the start of round 1 to the end of round 3, it's going to take place over 6 days. What's really interesting is that at the end of tomorrow, the players will know their opponents for round 3. For round 4. And so they'll have time to really prep for round 4, right? It's going to be very interesting. As, yeah, there really will be some preparation time. It's about a full week. I think from there being 6 days between round 1 and the end of round 3, there are then 6 full days between round 3 and round 4. So it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. But let's get into this matchup right now. The more important thing on mind. Showtime 1, Goblin 1. And we go into final map where we ask what the situation is going to be. What we're going to do. I mean, again, do you proxy once more? Do you go for a little bit of a different approach? All very reasonable questions to ask. Second gateway, Cybercore coming online for the moment. The probe's coming in. Extra gate, Cybercore coming in online from Showtime, so he's actually going to play the double gate this game. So he's going to mix it up himself. He's not going to go for the same thing again, and see what he does. Double gate, Stargate. I mean, we see the proxy robo from Goblin. 2 adepts from Showtime, though. So he's going to go 2 adepts versus 2 adepts. It means he has a lot of gas available. What structure? I mean, it has to be a Stargate, right? Like, we're not going to throw a robo down here. So just going to go 2 gate Stargate before expanding. Very safe. Should keep him in a very good spot, and obviously as Goblin here, you're committing to the proxy robo already. Showtime's just going to have access to the tech unit so much sooner than what he had in the previous games, because obviously before he was 1 gate expanding, then throwing down his tech structure. So, a very different approach from Showtime. I think a very, methodical way to move through the series, where if your opponent just keeps showing the same thing, let's just play a little bit safe in case he does the same thing again, right? Chrono onto a Prism. Are we going to build out the Stargate immediately is my question, I suppose. Do we get a Phoenix up because we got it so quickly, or do we just go instantly Void Ray? Oracle? Yeah, Oracle works too. Now, Oracle doesn't help you out as much defensively, but it will give you some chance to be aggressive, and that will force Goblin to respect that Oracle play, right? And then he's going to have to deal with that a little bit. Showtime sees the extra gate here. I mean, I think these Adepts already kind of knew what was going on, to be honest. Kind of losing an Adept, unfortunately. The two Stalkers get there, and only one Adept will survive through this. Battery's already building from Showtime. I mean, he's defending on one base, though. Like, this is one base versus one base, and Stargate is better than Robo when in the tech triangle tree. The only problem is that Showtime's Stargate is across the map. I didn't actually... Sorry, I completely missed the fact that his Stargate is across the map. And he only gets 3 workers before he actually faces off against the battery healing. He gets 4th at the end because he drained the battery of energy, but I guess second Oracle will do some work right now. And it needs to, man. Like, Showtime can't really build a Voidra in this scenario because he can't just pull it back home to defend. Yeah, so sorry, I completely missed that it was a proxied Stargate from Showtime, just being a bit slow in the head, apparently. Oracle's back in the main, by the way, so that's Oracle number 2 shows up. 2 Stalkers were there defensively, but Showtime says, I'm going to dive, and I'm going to guarantee as much damage as possible. Like I say, now he just, quotation marks, has to defend, but that's actually pretty tough because he has no tech structure at home defensively. High ground obviously does help, but the battery can only do so much as well. We are going to be having a couple of Depths in the front there, tanky as well from Goblin. Showtime gets another battery in the back. He is now building a Phoenix, and that Immortal is getting very low. Got to be careful with this, but Showtime, I was going to say, needs to do something right now. He recharges the battery, but the battery gets targeted. He's going to start pulling probes in, but I think he's in trouble. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The probes are huge, but maybe they needed to be pulled a little bit sooner. He does have one more gate coming by. The Oracle's going to show up. Just any defense we can get, any damage. Loses the Oracle quickly, though. Probably did not really do enough overall. We are in desperate need of some more units. I mean, Showtime, I think, is aware he can't just bring more units across the map. He's going to lift the Immortal, but to what avail? Like, there's just Stalkers here that we cannot get rid of. We do not have the damage output that we need right now. GG! Goblin is going to get it done. As the proxy Robo 3 times in a row will put him to the 2-1 scoreline. Showtime down to 1 and 2. Struggling with the PvPs in the European League. That is, that's definitely going to keep this tournament in a very fun place, man. That's definitely going to keep this tournament in a very fun place, because Showtime being at 1 and 2 is terrifying for anybody else at 1 and 2. Like, the concept of having to play Showtime for your tournament, you know, playoff life on the line. Yeah, kind of terrifying. I do not want to be in that position. I will tell you guys that much for free. Alright, guys, that's going to be Goblin getting to 2-1. Huge result for him. And that is going to set us off into freedom. We're away. We've gotten out of all of these mirrored matchups, guys. So we can actually go into some non-mirror match now in the form of Geralt versus ByuN. I think it's a super exciting one. I think this should be pretty darn fun. Gonna jump into the lobby that's already up. These guys are setting it up quickly. Just give a minute for the ads to run before I give them the go-ahead to start off. But these guys are ready to play, so... Again, everyone's just being super efficient and effective in the European League, man. Everyone's just ready to do their thing and get us to the next game already. Love it. Love it. Yeah, Goblin now 2-1. Honestly, super fun to see, follow the results. This is the kind of match that now gets me excited for tomorrow already, because I almost just want to see what round 4 looks like. Like, who has to play Showtime? Who does Goblin get to play at 2-1? You know, like, it's continues to be very, very fun for sure. As we, like I said, just have a moment or so. Boom, 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 boom. Right. We'll let them go. We'll get started. Heromarine eager. He's swapping players around in the position in the lobby, so he's ready to go. Geralt is ready. All the casters are in. Let's get into this TVP. What's up, Kybrit? Thank you so much for the 54-month resub on the Prime. Go Goblin. Hell yeah, Goblin getting that win. Big for him. Like I say, that game 3 really, I guess the Oracle just the battery helps so much against that first Oracle. And then Showtime just doesn't have the time to get to this, to get his robo up and running or anything. And like I said, I feel like it's kind of rough. The second Oracle was needed to really do damage, but then you kind of needed something back at home. And it got kind of difficult. Maybe a stasis on the high ground defensively at home. Like maybe if the first Oracle goes home immediately, I'm not sure if it did. But the second Oracle dove in and died. The first Oracle didn't die though, right? No, it did. It got killed off. No, it ran out of energy. Maybe if that Oracle goes home and as soon as it has the energy, it like stasis towards the high ground. Maybe that would have helped. Yeah, very interesting position to think on. As we get into game number 1 of a non-mirror matchup. Yes, they exist. And it's going to be Terran versus Protoss. In the bottom right, the Home Story Cup. Hot topic. It is ByuN, top 8 at Home Story. And came into this tournament and got absolutely obliterated by Protoss because round 1 he played Max Packs and round 2 he played Showtime. Absolutely no shame in losses there. I mean, honestly, I think he got the most difficult opponent in the 0-2 matches as well in Geralt, who has just not really had a great tournament for himself either. Lost to Harstem originally, and then after Harstem lost to Yakov 0-2. So, yeah, really not a great event for Geralt so far. I actually think if I look at the 0-2 matches, I actually think that all the players saw at 0-2 today. I would actually say that ByuN and Geralt are probably the 2 strongest players right now. ByuN's a little bit built up off of the recent Home Story Cup success, sure, but, like, Geralt's freaking good, man. He's traveling worldwide to compete and stuff as well. So, like, kind of brutal that these 2 are the 2 that drew each other in this round. Like, ByuN, I think, really has had pretty horrible bracket luck. Because if you ask me, playing Geralt at 0-2 is... it's just brutal. It's just not easy. So, we'll see how this match goes. Yeah, these are 2 players that are not afraid of the later stage of a game, man. I know ByuN probably doesn't want to play, like, late-game TVP, but I think a lot of his play kind of trends towards just kind of setting up and ending up in the later stage of the game. So, I'm excited to see what we have him do. And Geralt is absolutely no stranger to kind of letting the game develop and kind of playing the later stages. So, I'm just tempting the idea of maybe we could have some late-game magic or a rare change in what has otherwise been a pretty fast-paced European League. I mean, today is kind of just on schedule. But, yeah. We're moving across. We do have our factory coming up and get settled in. Nexus on the way through. Stalker and the Warp Gate coming up as well. Adept going to hit the Reaper for a moment. Reaper going to turn around onto the Adept. So we're back and forth for a couple of moments. Adept going to shade forward again. Starport in the command center. Coming online. A couple of Hellions building up also. Loco with the raid. Wow. It's always been my dream to be hosted by one of the best RuneScape streamers on the platform. Thank you, Loco, for the raid. Hope you found the coins you needed to... I don't even know what you needed 100 coins for, but... Welcome, everybody. This is the European League, one of the WardiTV tournaments that makes up the WardiTV 2025 series this year. So, hello, welcome, good to see you all. And thank you, Mickey Verix, coming in with 1,000 bits on top of the raid. Thank you so much, appreciate it. How you guys doing? Reaper and a couple of Hellions going to start flanking the Adept. Gonna take some pretty serious damage. I mean, we run away with the hurt. Hellion, good micro out of ByuN to clean that up. It's a high ground CC. If you're not familiar, guys, this is the European League. 24 players are playing, and we are playing a Swiss group stage, which means that everyone plays 5 matches. Every round, you play someone that has the same match score as you. Geralt and ByuN are unfortunately both 0-2 in the tournament so far, which means that the loser of this is 0-3, which is pretty much can't make playoffs anymore, outside of a miracle. But a win obviously keeps you very much so in playoff contention, so it's kind of a big matchup for these two, and it's probably one of the most dangerous matches at the 0-2 match scoreline as well here in the round 3 of the European League. So, yeah, very cool stuff. As the Wooden Mines drop in, probes are going to split. 1 worker per mine is generally acceptable. Obviously, you want to try and not delay too much. We actually do save 3 of the mines so far. 1 of them can still fire as well as we drop into the main. I like this a lot because you actually have to really respect this right now. There's only going to be one connection, but we saved 3 mines. And saving 3 mines is huge. So 4 probes, 1 per mine is, like I say, fine. But it was a lot of lost mining time on 2 mineral lines, and now 3 widow mines remain. So it really is on the better end of things. And we finished up a gateway in the wall to ensure these Hellions didn't slip through. Oh no, that means that this probe out here gets taken down by the Hellions as well. Wow, this is actually really nice for ByuN. This is a hell of a setup. Definitely a great starting point in this game. He's going into the Raven and the tank behind it. Marines continue to produce. I'm interested as to how quickly he tries to take advantage of this position. Obviously, Blink now allows Geralt to get out the other side. But yeah, does ByuN try and hit quickly with like a Marine tank siege up, or is he happy to let this play on a little bit? He'll add on extra barracks. He'll look toward the future. It's just a question of when do you move out versus how long do you sit at home for. I think that's a very good question. I think it's a very reasonable take to be like, you know, to look at this and say, I don't know how long this is going to take realistically. Banshee around the top are going to be aiming for the natural mineral line. 1 Stalker blinks in position. The Banshee gets kept away. Temple Archives halfway done. The Gateway and the Charge continue to come up and online. Another Stalker on the other side for a moment or two as well. Banshee is just a chillin' in between the natural and the third. Marine Tonk is going to make its way over as well. It's just going to be heading to the upper right-hand side, straight across there for the moment. A few of those Stalkers gathering up together as well. Marine Tank going to even siege for a couple of seconds, so the tanks get set up. Stalkers need to be careful. Do not want to walk into those siege tanks, but they do stop. Auto turret already harassing. We still have, the triple Widowmine, remember, is a big deal because you've got to keep some units there to respect that. Third base mineral line not already not doing too much. Honestly, with triple Widowmine, you can probably, just commit to the drop here. Stalkers will be able to blink away. That should save some of this damage. It's only going to be 2 more workers, but still, the tank's now in position. Problem is, we do have charge, and so the Zealots are going to be scary. I respect the pullback from ByuN. I think it's a very responsible decision to say, you know what, I did my thing, I made my move. I think he's just going to be able to start swarming me if I stick around too long. Like, he's very quick to back away. But it's completely the right idea, because the longer you stay there, the less possible it is to retreat, and the closer you get to just being completely wiped, right? So, yeah, I think this was a great choice. Not all of the harassment maybe did as much as it wanted to, but none of it's been bad. The feedback on the Banshee is very nice as well. It takes a lot of HP off it, because it was just high energy. No way to spend that Banshee energy, although it's also encouraged it to hit this mineral line where there's no defense right now. There's a battery nearby. But, this Banshee's going to find a few probes just nowhere near the battery, and that's going to be good for some damage. 3 more workers going down. ByuN, about 6 workers down. Still a good army supply position. Across the map right now, Geralt is poking and looking for a chance to maybe get up into the main base. Maybe try and do something at the moment. Stimpback is literally a second from finishing. It just finished. Wow. It finished between the final volley and the one before it of those Stalkers. So that's actually kind of rough for Geralt, because if you're Geralt, you might think you just denied that upgrade, and that might feel very good for you, right? But in reality, that upgrade did finish up, so that might be a potential to misread this a little bit as Geralt. Either way, as ByuN, you finish up the stim. It will delay your combat shield by a little bit, but only the time it takes to build a tech lab. Obviously, you lose stim with 1 second to go, and you are crying, because that's like a minute and a half of building time on a tech lab that you then have to catch back up on. 2 additional barracks are coming in. We also have a Ghost Cabin. No third command center. So we're going to get, what, like 2 to 3 ghosts and just... We're just going to, like, 2-base ghost SCV pull? With a 2-base commitment, it almost feels worthwhile to do something like that. Like, it seems extreme, but... that used to be something we used to see way back in the day. Love the Unburrow on the Widow Mines there. As, once again, Zealots show up. Unburrow once more. There's just 3 units. You've got 5 supply of Protoss killed so far here. High Templar did not stick it out into the main base. And I love that we keep those units there as well. It keeps the pressure in that position while the rest of the army is looking for the chance to step up onto the natural/third base. Again, there are High Templar, there are Stormers, but if you hit with the tanks in a good position, there's a lot you can do against that already. Oh, sorry, there is a 3rd CC. Sorry, I just completely missed this. I am blind. I was going to say, it's kind of wild to go ghosts off the 2 bases in this day and age, so I was like, wow, Ghost SCV pull? No, he must have had a 3rd CC finished and just floating, and I just missed it on the minimap and missed it when I checked the structures tab. My bad, guys. So there is a 3rd CC from ByuN that makes way more sense, because also it makes no sense right now to be pushing out without the Ghost being ready if this was a 2-base Ghost push. So, yeah, my bad. I completely missed it. Like I say, this now makes the game make way more sense from ByuN's point of view and what he's up to. He's definitely doing a good job of keeping position in this game. I love the Raven around the back. Just going to find a place to drop auto turrets. I like throwing 2 down as well. It kills probes a bit faster. And in this scenario right now, like, it keeps the Raven low on energy, and right now, anything with energy is potentially feedbackable. Double EMP on the one high temple on that right side. Maybe could have kept another, EMP for elsewhere. There's going to be units trying to come in from all angles. The tank so far doing very well. Target fires the high temple on the left side. Love that. The Widowmine's putting some work in. The Stalker's a little exposed. They get chased. However, we will lose the siege tanks. I mean, ByuN is still taking a very good trade for himself here. He's got the drop on the left as well. It's going to deny this 5th base incoming. Steps away from the storm. It's a top right base that he could maybe just drop toward. If he dropped toward the top right, I think he'd have a very good time. He's going to go back into the main, however. And to be fair, that's going to force Geralt to have a response as well. A few Stalkers begin to show up. Will they be enough? It's honestly a good question. Oh! Okay, I mean, I guess we have a Widowmine there that can kill one Stalker if you blinked in, but at the cost of 2 Medivacs, it'd probably still be a good trade. And maybe Geralt is just a little afraid. Good EMPs again. Do we have a Storm left on that high temple? I do not think so, right? I think it's very close, but not quite close enough. It's 5 energy away. 3, 2, and maybe another EMP on it if you see it. I mean, we've got the Ghost. We've got energy on the Ghost. We're going to get stormed, are we not? No. Waiting for the Widow Mines. They go off. Dead center on the Zealots. The mines do great. Heromarine just did not find the chance to EMP. Honestly, if he EMPs with those Ghosts, and then the Zealots take the mine shots after their shields are already down as well, I actually think there's going to be a lot of trouble there. Maybe a bit of a missed opportunity as these Marines stim again. 5th base killed, not cancelled. Stalkers will blink. I mean, this time a Medivac goes down, but hey, this drop's had a lot of value out of it anyway. As we will get the unload into the main and force at least a little bit more attention to be paid here. I'd love if ByuN instantly set another drop up in that left side. It's been a major issue for Geralt. And obviously, yes, it's finally being dealt with, but it took so long to deal with this. I would love to see him just put another up there. Because if it does even half as much as the first one, I think it would still be worthwhile. He's actually killed a bunch of probes just there as well. And now these High Templar not being paid attention to. ByuN is basically forcing the mistakes out of Geralt. He's out multitasking him. Maybe he could have done better at actually jumping on the High Templar there once he EMP'd them. Storm comes in from the High Templar on the left side. That's going to be a connection. ByuN's terrified. Once he eats a Storm, he just wants to be the hell away from this fight, apparently. Well, I mean, Geralt finally finding one Storm. ByuN had done such a good job of just nullifying Storms from existing in this game. Now he has to pull back a little bit. Still has this drop as somehow alive. Marine's going to get to the back of the natural. Surely those Stalkers are going to come in and play cleanup on this. But no, I mean, Geralt just F2'd them away, so he makes a mistake. And yeah, probes are going to take a little bit more damage. I mean, it's a chaotic game. Everyone's kind of making mistakes. It's a little bit hectic. And ByuN actually unloaded onto the high ground, I believe. So not all of his units are down on this low ground to help him fight. That drop is finally going to get dealt with. All the reinforcements are being warped in at home, though, from Geralt. And that means ByuN makes a pretty comfortable hold on his forward base this time. I wouldn't mind. I like the idea. Trying to get to the mineral line. It's going to try and burrow, but yeah, the idea is not good enough. Man, I wouldn't mind being in the main for so long as well. This mine just left on the map, finds a Zealot, and now gets cleaned up. ByuN up 40 army supply at this point of the game. 73 to 71 workers. And ByuN is killing it, but you've always got to respect the Storms, right? Any moment in time, a Storm can be huge. Feedback on a Ghost, very nice as well. I mean, the huge part of this fight is going to be the fact that, well, there's not a lot of Storms available. They finally come out of the Prism. We actually hit a lot of the mines in the Storm, but that's our Storm energy used. The High Temple will actually have another Storm soon, right? So I think ByuN's going to respect it again unless he can hit the EMPs. ByuN's army is also battered. Like, he's been trading, man. Like, he's been trading out. He's been absolutely engaging. Engaging down this ramp isn't pretty for Geralt. He needs to think twice about that. But yeah, look at the health bars. Like, everything's in the orange and the yellow. The Medivac's out of energy, but that's a massive EMP, and now there's not going to be a Storm, but there it is! There is a Storm! Oh no, that's going to be costly as we do step into it. I mean, ByuN's going to chase forward again. Super low energy. Was that the energy recharge on a Templar to give it the Storm after the EMP? I think it was. That's going to be the only reason Geralt gets to defend here. And it's a pretty huge defense, because like I say, that Terran army was hurting. So being able to start defending this really pushes you back a lot. Colossus on the way, and ByuN needs to be hot on picking this up, right? If you're suddenly fighting 2 to 4 Colossus and you've got no Vikings available, that's bad for you. And the issue that ByuN maybe has right now is also just the fact that Geralt has made it to 6 bases. He's expanding to base 7 now as well. ByuN's had a lot of good setups in this game. He's had a lot of good EMPs that have given him good options, but Geralt has done enough to keep himself in this. He's always had just one Storm left over, one Storm when he needed it most. He's found cleanups. Like I say, the Colossus switch right now might give Geralt a lot of momentum as well, because I think it takes a lot of momentum away from ByuN. When he sees those Colossus, I cannot imagine he wants to really fight. One Colossus, he might engage into. More than that, I think he's absolutely going to be waiting for the Vikings, and he does need to press the Viking button a bit, but he's supply blocked at 188. And that's what makes this all good too. I mean, at this point, maybe ByuN lifts up and drops 2 medivacs to the right side, trades those out, and uses that free supply for some Vikings, because he can't engage the army. And he's going to do kind of what I thought, but he's actually going to do it with 3 medivacs. He actually just unloads over here, maybe afraid of the fact that the Protoss army is kind of lingering around. And that is a scary factor, right? It is something to kind of note. As the Colossus actually in the front, EMP's come down. We're trying to EMP where the High Templar might drop out of the Prism. Can't be a lot of Templar right now. No, there's not. But the one Templar that exists does have 2 storms, but we're now going to kill it. That's the last storm currently available. Bio chasing forward. I mean, again, you just can't go in with the hurt Bio against Colossus. You can't really touch. Zealot's warping in. I tell you one thing Geralt has not had, because it's been so much kind of pressure on his shoulders, is that he's not really been able to get the Zealots across the map and into the mineral lines of ByuN, right? He's not been able to be the counter-attacking, aggressive Protoss player. So that's one thing ByuN's definitely been able to keep in his favor. This Colossus switch has definitely been an issue for ByuN. I think if this was never Colossus switch, I think ByuN's way more confident in attacking in and kind of had the army to attack in with. 5th base coming in for ByuN. Definitely something he needs to kind of make happen right now. I really loved, you know, he unloaded 3 of those medivacs on that right. I still would have loved if even just 1 went to the far top right, because, you know, as Geralt gets maxed out especially, you have that kind of stage where, like, you just need to preemptively have units here, otherwise you can't warp in defensively, right? So it kind of becomes a factor. There's the group of Zealots on the right side looking to hit a base, but we actually might be able to get close enough as ByuN to make it so that doesn't matter too much. And he stops shy of the Zealots, and the Zealots stop shy of the base for now, waiting for this army to get set up. ByuN has a potential flank on this. He's going to stem. He wants to threaten it. Storm from the high ground is brutal. That is just a really well-positioned High Templar. It's very scary to play this kind of style as Geralt, where you're just putting a High Templar here and a High Templar there, because you've got to manually track where they all are. Think about when they each have an opportunity to drop the Storm in. It's a very risky play, but it's paying dividends for him right now as he gets away with it. The Zealots are making a move on the other side, although it actually looks like they got F2'd back for a second. There's been a lot of F2'ing by Geralt. Caught him a couple of times in bad positions because of that. You do not want to be losing your ghosts. What am I? Now he saved both the ghosts, but only one will live in the end. So definitely already an effective Zealot run by. The good news for ByuN is he doesn't have to pull a lot back to deal with it. So yes, you lose a ghost, but the rest of your army gets to stay on the map. Man, he's just drained of medevac energy again. He stims to try and run away. He's out of position. He turns away. Oh no, disruptors are going to be very scary as well, and this army is hurting right now. Another disruptor shot trying to go up that ramp. Nexus on the upper right. I mean, this is the thing from Protoss nowadays. Once they get a bit of control, they just expand. And that's what makes it so tough as the Terran. You're fighting a Protoss who just has so much money constantly available because there's no way to punish the expansions, is what it feels like as the Terran. I think it's very difficult to do, and there's been no attempt from ByuN to kind of split up and go towards those bases, which maybe he just needed to. Maybe he just needed to split the army. Maybe he needed to commit those 3 medevacs to the upper right-hand side. Maybe that would have been a great scenario. I think it's also been awkward for ByuN because he's just, again, the Vikings were not ready for the Colossus coming out. And since then, it's become very awkward as well. SCVs will try their best to repair this planetary, which is actually going to defend itself. So good job, ByuN. Reaction was in time to keep that alive. Obviously, Geralt playing with that massive DT warp in, looking at that as a huge way for him to harass as this game progresses. Still think this is very scary because obviously we're playing a scenario where, as ByuN, you need to keep, like, if ByuN loses a base, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to dive into this. Disruptors did not get a huge jump on the army. He fires with the Disruptors in the back, though, and they do connect. Vikings trying to chase the Colossus. I mean, ByuN is able to get a few units out of this. Instant reinforcements warp in from Geralt. ByuN has more libs coming up. I mean, I like these libs, but they feel like they're a little far forward right now. The Vikings have some work to do on the Colossus. Gets rid of one. Storm from behind! Disgusting from Geralt as he gets the High Templar in from the other side. Enables the Storm to hit the dead center of the Bio army. All said and done, it's going to be ByuN coming out ahead on army supply, but obviously with the warp in, Geralt should even up a bit. Geralt has a lot of minerals in the bank, but not too much gas. Look at resources lost this game. It's a little bit favorable to ByuN. He does just need to keep the bases coming online. Whoa! The Unburrow split from the mine saves him from the Disruptor 2. Very nice. It gets interesting because there's no Colossus left, so these Vikings can maybe kind of, you know, be a bit kind of feisty on prisms. Obviously, if you go down to no Vikings, Colossus can be rebuilt, but I actually do think Geralt's army is getting to a worse place than it was. Disruptor Storm genuine. I mean, it's the fact that obviously the Colossus provide consistency because they're consistently able to put out splash. This is nice though. Geralt catches Baby Marine just unaware, gets up this ramp, and it's all good because Baby Marine was thinking about trying to defend on the right side where Geralt is kind of taking a base aggressively towards Baby Marines. And Baby Marine just was not quite in position for this. Libs were not sieged. Needs those to try and hold the position a little bit as he will see this Nexus right there, and he's going to want to get rid of that because he was about to fly a CC to expand from that and mine from that location. So Geralt is able to keep the pressure up right on the front door at the moment. But the Disruptor Shot just finds a Widow Mine off to the side. The Widow Mine finds a Zealot, so we go back and forth trading with a couple units left on the map. Nothing too wild. Lib's gonna have to siege up here immediately. Like, Baby Marine is very aggressively stepping into these fights. I get it, man. He wants to force the issue, and to be fair, you get the Pros to run away. The Pros is not gonna have a good time. Love it from Geralt again. Finds a Disruptor that's not being chased as heavily because it's further back in the army, and gets a lot out of it. Using the Liberator to deny actual mining from this base is nice. He needs to really deal with this because it's a warping point as well, right? You're basically always going to be under threat of being attacked from that right-hand side. And this army is not going to do it because Marauders just don't trade well enough against the Zealots. Again, got to use the Liberators here to try and hold off the rest of the force. I wonder if there's just a point where as Baby Marine, you just play more slowly. Like right now, he's very aggressively trying to siege on top of this army. I mean, maybe he's just trying to very aggressively take this base. He's low on Medivacs again, by the way. He just does not have the healing to keep this up. And I think that right side attack is really wearing him down a little bit. He needs to comfortably deal with that. Now we've got the DTs showing up. They're going to blink past. And this time, way too many DTs to keep this base alive. There's a build in CC. It would be nice if that could finish at least right. I think we are going to protect it. Liberator sieging up. I mean, DTs, if they go down, it's a very expensive army. The Marauders will get rid of the Stalkers on the right. And don't be wrong, you deny the base, but the CC going to show up. It's going to replace that base at the very least. This forward base going down, though, and 30 SCVs as well. Baby Marine's army supply is good, but again, I think it's damaged and hurting. Like, a lot of these units have been in multiple stims. There's not been the Medivacs to bring them back to life. I think Geralt's army honestly kind of sucks right now. It's very good Disruptors, though. Like, his army sucks. Like, 9 DTs, 25 Stalkers, and Disruptors. Like, unless the Disruptors connect, like, his army melts in any kind of a fight. Baby Marine types GG. He's going to be a frustrating game because I feel like he absolutely dominated Geralt for like the first 10 to 15 minutes. But just couldn't find the final fight to really get in and punish him. And Geralt survives through. GG's. Yeah, that's a very frustrating game for Baby Marine because he... I think this was genuinely... I genuinely think that he played a better game in the early stages. And Geralt is so good later on, and that's what makes Geralt so scary, is that he is able to bounce back in those kind of games, and he did exactly that there. So credit to Geralt, but frustrating for Baby Marine for sure. His army sucks. Oh, he won. His army did suck. You telling me that if you take a fight with that Terran army onto... Like, don't get me wrong, like, if the Disrupt... Like, the whole point of the Protoss army is that Disruptors make a fight not happen. But, like, 10 Stalkers and Disruptors... is not a good army. It's a terrible army. I actually don't think Baby Marine... Like, I understand why Baby Marine left, but I think he should have... Okay, the problem is if Baby Marine tries to attack, it probably doesn't matter, because rushing across the map with one attack, you're going to get warped in against, and it probably just doesn't work. But I do think, like, realistically, like, if he just forces one fight, it would be good for him. But obviously, the Disruptors stop you forcing the fight, and he's really low on economy. He doesn't have any sort of rebuilding available either. Right? These are all major issues, you know? So, yeah, he leaves the game when, arguably, it's actually still looking okay for him. But the lack of bases, the harassment on both sides really got to him in the end. He really struggled to shut down some of that kind of just continued harass on both sides. Definitely became an issue for sure. Yeah, good effort from Baby Marine, though. Really good effort. He's so close, I think, to just... figuring out this matchup a little bit more. Like, I feel like he's so close to kind of punching through to another level because he keeps getting into such good early game scenarios. He just needs to figure out how to clean up, you know. What's up, At2On? Thank you so much for the Prime sub for 10 months. Appreciate it. And thank you so much, Parabyte, 75-month resub. Is this enough subs for a free UK trip? I mean, if you refund all 75 subs, I don't know if that's going to get you to the UK. But I wish it was enough to sponsor you to come and meet Ellie, because I'm sure Ellie would love to meet everyone. Ellie would love an Ellie meetup day for sure. She'd love that. She loves meeting people. She's so friendly. Like, to her, the greatest thing in life is getting to see people, you know? Alright, frustrating game, because I do think, I share his frustration, right? It feels like you play well, and the Protoss is just able to live and just survive. I mean, there was a moment in this game where I think Baby Marine wins if there isn't an energy overcharge on the High Templar that storms everything. There was a couple of fights where he wins if one High Templar didn't find the storm from a weird angle, you know? Like, he was that close to just overrunning, but Geralt always had that one out still available to him, and he found the use of it to be able to stay alive and to push this into the later stages. It's like I say, it's frustrating because it feels like you're so nearly there. It feels like you've probably done enough. You should be able to win, and you just don't manage it. You get ground down over the next 10 minutes, and it falls away from you, unfortunately. It's still super promising stuff from Baby. We'll see what he can do in this second game as we get this started up. It's kind of wild because I do wonder, like, I do feel like right now PvT is pretty difficult for Terrans, specifically because it feels like Protoss get a lot of chances to survive and come back, right? Which is kind of weird because that's kind of what Terrans used to have, because they could sit back on their tanks and sit back on, you know, Terrans were a real good, like, sit back and get back in the game race. I think it's just, I don't know how you fix it necessarily, but it's the way that the Protoss can... It's the fact that Protoss can expand so aggressively while in trouble. Like, in this game, last game, Baby denied the 5th base a couple times over, but the moment he's not preemptively there with a double drop to deny the 5th, suddenly, you know, Geralt has a 5th and a 6th, and then Baby doesn't feel like he ever has a chance to drop again. And so the bases just keep on coming. And because you have all of that money, and all of those bases that the Terran doesn't feel like they can split units off to truly deal with, it becomes very difficult because then they can just warp in tons of zealots defensively if they need to, right? Like, it feels so difficult. I don't know how you fix that, because I don't think this matchup is very far away from being in a very good place. But it does just feel like it's a little bit too difficult to end the game as a Terran. Like, I feel like that's where I'm at with this matchup right now, where I feel like it's very close to being great. It just feels like there's just Protoss always, like, I think it's fine if Protoss, like, if the matchup just works by Protoss having 2 more bases than a Terran, sure. But the fact, I think it's the fact that they keep getting to those 2 more bases while they're under such heavy pressure. While they're under, like to me that doesn't make sense logically in a StarCraft game. Like, I feel like this matchup's so close to being so good. I don't know what you would change to fix that necessarily, though, you know? There's also that really weird question of course, as well, like, you know, someone at, like, the clam level is going to have a different experience trying to end the game versus someone at, like, the Baby Marine level too, right? So, I mean, maybe it doesn't even need, like, I just don't know, like, what you would tweak? Or I don't know, like, how much tweaking it would even need. Like, it feels very close to being very playable. Just, yeah, I feel like we see a very similar story a lot of the time where the Terrans are in good spots and the game just can't end. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Ripper Hellion here tries to get something done. Doesn't find much. Cyclone Marines and a Medevac on the way, so the follow-up attack's going to be pretty beefy. It's a fake Oracle that goes down there. Hallucination fades. It's going to be seeing the Adept there as well. Reapers and the Hellions getting pushed back. The stats say it's very far from a good place. What are the stats, though? Like 60% PVT? The thing is, 60% is not... The thing is, like... It doesn't take a lot to swing things heavily in StarCraft 2. Like, we've had patches where, like... You remember when we gave, like, Queens +1 range and it completely broke a matchup? You know? Like, StarCraft 2, a lot can change with very little things. And I feel like PvT is very close to being very fun. It's just not quite there. You know, like, things are usually closer to being balanced in StarCraft 2 than people realize, you know? Which is why people get so frustrated at Protoss, I think, a lot of the time. They're like, this is never beatable! And if you change the slightest thing, it's like Protoss like actually stand no chance. Anyways, Medevac loads up. I am bordering on balance whining. Apologies, guys. It's not balance whining, it's balance theorizing, let's say. Illegal Labs balance has PvT at 52%. Really? I thought it was 60%. My bad. As well. Oh, this Banshee. Oh, doesn't get high ground. No! Oh, he shot back. No. Pain. Balance pondering. Yeah, a little bit. I'm definitely gonna hit that Reaper. I'm gonna pull it away. Woody filed a complaint to the bounce council during Home Story Cup. I talked to a lot of players during Home Story Cup. You know, trying to get their ideas of what the pro kind of mindset is heading into EWC and stuff, right? You know, and you know, people obviously like to complain that their race is the weakest and stuff, but a lot of people had some very interesting thoughts on the matchups and so on. It was cool to hear. I wrote it on your paper. Yes, I did write it on your paper. Oh, that one? Yeah. That one was, yeah. Okay, well, that wasn't an... I didn't realize that was like a truly official complaint. Oh, God. Mistakes. Mistakes were made. Reason tanks are going to come across. A couple of stalkers are going to be chased for a couple of moments. We do have our observer. Going to be chilling out overhead. Sent to Blizzard last week. Oh no. It's okay, I didn't sign it, right? I just added the complaint. Perfect. Doesn't have my name attached at least. Medevac boosting out over that right side. We do have a couple tanks sieging. Getting set in the center. And this little group of Marines going to be stepping into the main base there. You jump on this pylon. I mean, honestly, I don't hate just getting a pylon and getting out, right? Keeping this medevac alive keeps the pressure on the map for you at least as well, so there's a benefit to that. This has obviously been a way more comfortable game for Geralt, though. Like, resources lost is amazing for him. The Banshees, you know, 2 Banshees, a tank, 2 Hellions, 4 Reapers, and you killed 3 probes this game, a couple of Stalkers. Like, it's just not good enough from Baby Marines. So, this game, the early game, has definitely not been Baby Marine's best friend. And this obviously concerns you because last game he had such a good setup and he couldn't make anything of it. This game, Baby Marine is not going to have anywhere near as much potential to keep the momentum up and keep damage coming his opponent's way. Geralt's going to much more easily get to a 4th base. He's going to be very freely flowing towards a 5th base as well, right? And +2 attack. Extended thermal lance about halfway done. Medevac coming back along to the left-hand side. Is it just earlier / more storms? I know. I think the biggest thing with energy overcharge is that you can open sentry and scout. Right? Like, so much of this matchup is basically just now that Protoss players have so much more reliable scouting early that they can be a little greedier. Like, the energy overcharge really does that much to help sentries out and just give them so much more information while opening blink and so on. You just can consistently know what's up, and then also beyond that, then obviously later on, like obviously Super Battery is very good at defending Terran pushes and made it very difficult sometimes to harass and so on, but energy overcharge can get you a storm out of nowhere sometimes. That can just be the storm you need. Like, if you get fully EMP'd right now, you can suddenly have a storm available again, which I don't think that's necessarily breaking the balance. I think it is just the confidence Protoss can have in the early stages of the game, though. It definitely helps a lot. It's going to be very fun to see EWC. Because I actually think EWC is where, you know, we can talk balance and it's something as a matchup fair or whatever right now, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. What happens at EWC matters. The Terrans might come in at EWC and be like, hey, by the way, this is how we're going to play against Protoss now. And it's like, oh my god, what? This is sick. But stuff like that always happens at the World Championships, so it's going to be very fun to see what the best of the best come up with when given a lot of time to prep, a lot of time to come up with stuff. There's no way we've been seeing the true state of the meta of StarCraft 2 over the last few weeks in small online tournaments. It's 100% going to look different at EWC, so... it's going to be fun. Colossus poking away here again, Geralt. This is the typical kind of routing in PvT, right? Where you have the Protoss army setting up. You got the base set up. If the Terran doesn't do much early, they can get set up and they can get confident on the map. You know, you can step on the map with those Colossus. You expand behind it. We're talking about 5 base right now. I think right now, 3 base versus 5 for a Terran is considered fine. Going to 4 base, they get to 6 is fine. Like, being on a 2 base deficit is okay. That's generally the consensus the Terrans have. 2 base deficit is fine. The problem is that it gets very scary because Geralt's going to start getting Dark Shrine up, right? So you're very quickly going to get to the point where the Protoss has ways to kill your base, and you cannot afford to lose a base without at least taking a base out yourself. So you have to be very careful with what you let happen versus what you do yourself. Geralt is obviously feasting right now. +3, +2 on the way. He's getting himself Disruptors. He's getting himself Prism Speed. The Dark Shrine is going to be Shadow Stride and a whole bunch of opportunity. That's a hell of a set of force fields. That Sentry in the front died. And man, did he make the Terran pay for it. As the Zealots are going to run in again. We didn't see really Zealots harassing at all for the early stages last game because ByuN had such a better opener. This time we already have Zealots poised to pounce. It's funny because I actually don't think Geralt really wants to fight right now. If anything, he probably wants to wait for the 4th base to come online, give him an extra place to attack into. I mean, ByuN's army right now is very respectable, but Geralt also has 5,000 minerals because he's had, again, nothing to really trouble him early. Prism goes down, trying to dive through. Missile turrets well placed, and they will not be punished. Can you watch back the Heromarine ByuN game? Yep, it's in our Twitch VODs, or it's on our YouTube VOD if you want to check that out as well. If you type !VODs, it'll give you a link to either the YouTube, where you can watch the live and just rewind the live video already. On Twitch, the VOD page will have the recent broadcast already kind of uploading as it goes. You can just click on that as well, so... yeah, you can go check that out already if you would like to. Yeah, !VODs will give you the link to either of those pages you need to be on. Like this. There you go, I got you. Maybe I should change that command to work for VOD as well. Start shots, trying to reach. Missile turret. Don't live, but... it's scary. You got that Protoss right outside your base. You got Zealot's going to hit the other side. Nice Storm already as well. Going to zone that Terran army from jumping straight through there. We do clean up the Zealots, but it costs us 11 SCVs, so ByuN will be down a little bit there already. An SCV and a Wooden Mine that goes down. A couple more Disruptor shots want to come through. We'll just have ourselves a +2 armor coming up, finishing up from ByuN, so he's now going to have 2-2 available for him right now. Extra Zealots are going to step up, they're going to take down that Siege Tank. If we now step through and SCVs will start to get jumped on, Vikings are going to dive in. They're going to go after that Colossus. Another Disruptor shot firing away as well. As the Zealots continue to wrap around these Marauders, I mean, this is just not looking good for ByuN. He's going to lose way too much army supply over here. It's one thing to lose some SCVs. Losing army is where this game really falls apart for you, because then you just can't keep up with constant poking. You know, if this group of Zealots did so much, then what's the next group of Zealots going to do? Oh, nothing, because you commit so much to the left side? That leaves the right side completely open to attack, right? You know, this is the situation ByuN's starting to get into now, where I think it's going to start to be difficult for him to really fend off both angles. He's going to go across the map. Honestly, catching these Zealots and then attacking up the left side might be a cool idea, but again, that army on the right is poised to punish ByuN moving out, so he's got to be careful about that too. The Zealots seeing it maybe is the best case scenario for Geralt, because now he collects everything together and says, okay, I'm not going to let you just come across the map at me. And he's going to sit here if he can. 8k, 2k in the bank. He is freaking rich right now. He has money for days. One more Disruptor shot flying, but will not find its connection. Marauders and a Siege Tank coming up. Disruptor shot lands for a Widow Mine instead. I mean, I actually think Geralt's making a mistake. Like, at this point, I think if Geralt has this much control of the map, he should be expanding to the gold base, mining that ASAP. That's a more difficult base to control later in the game, so I really feel like he should take that. Honestly, even another base on the right side. Like, he's got the minerals. Get your static defense set up in those positions already. Because what that does, if nothing else, say the Terran does find a chance to hit your bases. If they hit that base, okay, cool. Maybe you didn't need it. But then it's a base that the Terran has to spend time dropping, rather than one of the bases that you're truly mining from and using at the moment, right? And I think that's why you should just be continuing to throw the expansions down here. Like, sometimes you don't want to throw money away, but you've got 10,000 minerals. For a 400 mineral Nexus bait is genuinely a good investment right now, even if that Nexus doesn't mine for the next 4 minutes. It just being there to protect the base you do want to mine from, and to give you an idea of where the Terran might be dropping, just makes it more difficult for the Terran to rip control of this game away from you, right? Swap shots, find one Marauder. The Colossus in the front there, a little bit of trouble running back through the choke point, ends up being a little bit costly. Babymarine gets a chance to chase. 30 army supply advantage. This is your opportunity, Babymarine. He's going to clean up the Zealots on the left side super comfortably as well. Otherwise, kind of did more hurt than good almost, I feel like. Yeah, he chases forward very nicely. The problem is he's so Marauder heavy. You guys know what Marauders suck at? Dealing damage to Zealots specifically. And this is now very Zealot heavy army, so Babymarine pushes out, gets himself that bottom right base down. Man, like, he just doesn't have the damage output, no? Gonna jump on this base. Yeah, the Zealot reflood is kind of nuts. He's have a massive army supply advantage from Babymarine, but like, he needs to start showing it. A lot of it was over to the left side, remember, too. And that's not necessarily involved in this fight. It's gonna get distracted by the Zealots running into the natural. Again, the army supply at any point in time doesn't matter too much either when Geralt can warp in thousands of resources of units, because he's got this economy that's just not being touched. He's got a bank which is absolutely ridiculous at this stage already. Medevac up the left. I mean, the Zealots are A, going to see it, and B, this is one of the more protected bases on the map as well. If you unload, like, shy of the base and run in with all those units, I actually think you do fine. But, so I guess there's a little bit of a reality check to be done there as well. Another scan. Disruptors, High Templars, the Colossus gathering up. The Command Center here going to join up and gather in as well. So that's going to charge around the left side. Another disruptor shot finds a ghost. I mean, Babymarine is facing another wave of this Protoss army. This is Storm he's just going to eat in the face. Again, Babymarine's army has been effective in some of these trades, but he's still trading worse off resources-wise. Like, it's not that he's not being able to push Geralt away, but he's not being able to push Geralt away while really securing himself better and better place in the game, right? Why does Geralt have 86 workers? Because he just wants to mine as much as possible. He doesn't need a massive army supply to throw units at his opponent. And to, right now, Geralt just wants to mine up as much of the map as he can. Like, he is completely denying the Terran from doing anything. And it's all because he can completely afford to just throw units away. And I get it, he already has a big bank. And maybe at some point he will, I think if he lost some SC probes right now, he wouldn't necessarily rebuild them. I don't think there's any harm in keeping them, because he clearly doesn't need more army supply, right? I actually don't know if more army supply lets you push in more effectively overall either, because there's kind of that limiting factor of just defensive positions are just, oftentimes very good. Give it a mind shots. Continue to fire through. Let's have ourselves the +2 shields coming up as well. So it's going to go diving in. Planetary right there. We'll be in some trouble. We are going to see this base getting completely jumped on. Disruptor shot trying to fire up. Completely whiffs. I think it's fair to say that we have got ourselves well, I mean, to be honest, I think this game's been over for 10+ minutes. But I think we're actually at the point of maybe seeing this game end, because Babymarine's just saying I don't have an eco to stand back on anymore. So he's just going to push with the army that he's got, and It will do fine. It will probably trade decently. It will not deal well with the endless amount of reinforcements that Geralt has, though. Because that's the whole thing about the first game as well. He had an army that could fight and probably trade extremely well. But it can't sustain against the endless amount of resources that Geralt had. In this game, it's even worse because there's actually an endless amount. At least it feels like when there's 17,000 resources bound. Resources lost is 26 to 24k, favoring Geralt. I mean, that makes sense. ByuN, I don't think is necessarily traded super well this game. Start of this fight is very nice, but I mean, honestly, again, Zealots are good enough. This army's not really made to deal with Zealots. It's super Marauder heavy. GG. Geralt takes the 2-0 and will keep himself kind of in the playoff hopes in the European League with this victory. GG's. GG's. 2-0 from Geralt. I think that's a, like I say, frustrating opening matchup for ByuN, or frustrating opening game. Because it felt like he really had the chance there, right? Game 2, the opener does not go anywhere near as well. It definitely falls apart a lot more quickly. GG. Alright guys, so we have got one more series coming up for you guys this evening. We've actually had some longer games, which I'm very much so a fan of. It's nice to see 3 to 4 hours of streaming for these days, so hell yeah. We're going to have one more best of 3, Yakov versus Cristiana for some Protoss versus Zerg action. These two players are sitting at the 1-1 scoreline, so another couple of players who really have, you know, everything to play for. A win here puts them in a real good position to challenge for the playoffs. A loss and you're suddenly fighting for your tournament life on next week's games. So yeah, big deal breaker coming up on this, as we will be readying up to go in a couple of moments. Let me just throw some ads up in the air and we can kick off. Yes, Cristiana vs. Young Yakov is next. Final series of the day. I've just mentioned their veto order to them, so I'm presuming they're vetoing either in private or their BRB, and they'll be here soon to begin some vetoes and to take us away. Sure, we'll get into that shortly. Oh. And hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate you all dropping by and hanging out for some European League. Some StarCraft 2 action for you all. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, with more European League action as well, obviously. So tomorrow's game is actually pretty darn cool. Tomorrow starts off with Jumi versus Night Phoenix. Then we're going to have Percival versus Nicorakt. After that, we're going to have Austin versus... after that, we're going to have Art versus Hydra. And then the second half, I really feel like it heats up a bit. Maxpax versus Harstem. Scarlet versus Shameless, I think, is going to be super exciting. And then Skillis against Euthermal. Tomorrow's going to be very fun. Persephone going to be our opening map here of this Protoss versus Zerg, guys. Let me get this hosted. I will have Tokamak and Pylon making up this best of 3 as well. Lovely. Bum 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 bum. Surprised you didn't SCV pull in game 2? Yeah, I think it just went so badly early. Like, how could you even think about it, though, right? Like, even if you intended to, did it not just go badly enough on the opening harassment? That's just like SCV pulling is just like, like it just feels bad. Like SCV pulling into what just shouldn't work because he did nothing early. Who's the character on the shirt I'm wearing? This is my, this is one of the, I think, probably the only anime shirt I own. It's Nezuko, no? Demon Slayer. I saw this in, Valencia, and, yeah, I thought it looked freaking cool, to be honest. I'd watched a very small amount of Demon Slayer. I don't watch much, anime, to be honest. Too much, when I watch stuff, I usually play RuneScape at the same time. And watching stuff with subtitles makes that very difficult, you know? So, I watch a lot of anime stuff. My anime intake is usually from Helen watching anime, and I'm like in the room while she's finishing an episode, or I'm just hanging out and she wants to watch anime and I'm just chilling, so No, it's just on the TV. So I know like bits and pieces of anime storylines from very sporadically across certain arcs and stuff. Top left-hand side, my blue Protoss player here is going to be Cristiana, taking on the red Zerg in the bottom left-hand corner. We are going to have ourselves a Yakov. Yakov no longer young. Yeah, he's dropped the young from the name. I like it, you know. Young Yakov earlier seemed good. Nowadays, Yakov, it just seems like a good development, you know. I think it's time he drops the young. I like it. It's like Petit Drogo. Should have just dropped the Petit at some point and just been Drogo. You know, we all started calling him Drogo anyway. You know, he should have just dropped the Petit and just become Drogo. Promote himself. Nothing wrong with that, man. Have belief in yourself. Maybe he was going for that. Like, if I believe that I'm truly Yakov now, my results will reflect it as well. Next Baby Marine will just become Man Marine. Or just Marine. Yeah. Should he just drop the baby and just be Marine? Mate, what if he just drops the B and the A? He's just like, what if he just becomes Bi-Marine? You know? So he's no longer Baby Marine, but he's not just quite boring old Marine. I feel like just being called Marine is asking for like so much complication. It's like, whoa, is that Marine Lord? Whoa, is that Heromarine? Like, he already gets this called Baby Marine. Being called just Marine is only going to open the floodgates for even more people to be confused as to who the hell you are. Max Pax just becomes Pax. What? Max Pax downgrades? Yeah. Jump on the indie cam here, guys. There's a couple of lings come out and play Denial on this Proby to start us off. We do have a Stargate on the way up, and next is coming through. Let me get this set up and running. Adolescent Marine. Obviously, PvZ expecting it to take a couple moments to get underway. Yakov was very one-sided against Geralt. I was very surprised by this series because Yakov really brought out a little bit of a feistier version of himself. I went into the Yakov versus Geralt match and was really talking a lot about how I actually thought this could have been a long game, a really long series. You know, two players that typically end up playing the longer games, and then maybe Yakov didn't enjoy doing that against Shameless, so he knocked Geralt down with just Lingbane Hydra aggression. A couple times in a row, just very successful. So yeah, that gives me... it's interesting, because I would say that, you know, Geralt right now does stand a little bit more strongly than Cristiana in my own personal rankings, so Yakov... It's wild because, like, Yakov lost to Shameless, but then he beat Geralt. And now you play Cristiana. Like, it's really a string of Protoss players that I feel like you can kind of put at a similar level, but, like, the results don't necessarily add up. Obviously, stylistic differences are a big thing. And look at Cristiana. Talk about stylistic differences. This is going to be a completely, you know, off-build from the typical meta. The double Stargate and a fleet beacon coming down. So we are going to be seeing Cristiana building into just the air army. Right from the very beginning of this game, the air fleet will begin to come on up. We have ourselves a couple of probes coming through, drones, queen, overlords, all building in as well. A few zerglings are going to chill out the front, a couple of adepts will step forward. This ling is just going to grab that first adept, by the way, so that's going to be a nice grab to start us off. One ling slips through into the main. Not bad start at all from Yakov. He comes in for some decent damage. Anyway, can I say this is an exciting day as well, just in our last series, because it's, we've had a day where not a single match has had to be pre-played or anything. Everyone's been very ready to play today and stuff, and there's been no replays either, so, yeah, a really cool day. Like, you know, very smooth sailing. We've not had any downtime between the matches. We've just been go, go, go. I want to again just give a shout out to all of the players who've been super, super good at just being on time for this event. Some of them have been more than ready to play when we've come out the previous years, having matches vetoed, maps vetoed, and games hosted and stuff, so... Again, shout out all the players who are, A, giving their time to participate, and B, making it go as smoothly as possible. Again, my life could not be easier being an admin, man. It's genuinely kind of wild how, yeah, it's genuinely kind of wild how, easy it is to run StarCraft tournaments in this day and age. People always message me like, man, it's really sick. You put all this work into running events. I'm like, man, honestly, like, I appreciate it, but like, StarCraft players make life easy, you know? It's gonna be hell the day I have to make an event for another game and everyone's like asking, I actually have to hire an admin and like, there's drama and like, there's delay. It's gonna be terrible, but for now, loving the StarCraft guys. Alright, Tempest showing up. Time to actually talk about this one is, we have ourselves, 2 Tempests out. And the first Spore Crawler out as well, but that's not going to stop the drones going down. We basically just need the Spire. We do at least kill the Adepts, so we stop the Adepts from being able to do much more. Queens are going to try and step to the right-hand side where they can fight against the Void Ray hit in the 4th base. But yeah, I mean, these Tempests are just tanking some damage because there's not enough onto them to stop them, you know, to justify them stopping. A bunch of drones go down. Now, it's interesting because it's a bunch of damage, but I would say it's manageable for Yakov, especially because the Spire's about to be done. So you're going to be okay from here on out. Oh, he's actually just going to Ling Bane counter. Ooh. Oh, I love it. There's nothing at home defensively to really stop this at all. Baneling Burst on the first attack. We've got Banes and Lings in the mineral lines. I mean, you're going to do damage here for sure. We recall the Tempest home. Obviously, this buys you time as Yakov as well, right? Because it gives you time to set up at home into some Corruptors and something to stop the Tempest from doing even more in the future. And from 15 drones lost, he's now going to kill 13, 14, 16 workers. Banes will get a couple more low there. There's still some Lings loose in the main base. 22 workers killed. All of a sudden, Yakov's going to be looking at an insane economy compared to Cristiana. He knows there's a couple of low HP probes here as well because the Banelings hit them. 24, 25 workers killed. I think that might be the final number as the Lings start to get dealt with. But now we have Corruptors on the way. The Tempest will not do as much. The only question now is you have to make sure you're ready to deal with any charge lots, but we do have the access to Banelings, and with Banelings accessible, you should be able to get Banes up to help you with those charge lots if they become, you know, problematic. So I actually think this should be fine for Yakov on the follow-up. I don't think there's like an immediate counter from Cristiana that's going to be super terrible, especially because these Tempests are going to be in trouble. Recall just being used, by the way, so these Tempests cannot recall home. Void Ray taking a bunch of damage. Queens will step after it. They get it. Void Ray goes down. The Corruptors show up. Like I said, there's no recall, so you can't get the Tempests out of here. And the Corruptors will lay waste to those. Do we have more Tempests up? No, all of them died. He actually only built 2. He didn't go into a 3rd and a 4th. So only 2 Tempests. I mean, that's good in some ways. I mean, what's interesting is now that we're going to play the freaking follow-up of Mutalisks. Archon's going to step over here, but there's no way these Corruptors don't just take the Fleet Beacon. Obviously, the Stargate's still available. It's wild that we're playing Mutas because A, there's going to be Archons defensively, but B, we can obviously build Phoenix against this, but at the same time, Phoenix are not as good as they might usually be because the Corruptors can zone the Phoenix. So, while the Phoenix are really good answers to the Mutas, the Corruptors can help the Mutas to stay very safe by tanking the Phoenix shots. The Mutas right now playing defense, of course, which is not ideal. You kind of want to get them across the map. I do worry a little bit about the Archons. I think that's the one thing we don't actually have a really great answer for just yet. And as the Archon count grows, maybe there's something Cristiana can do, but right now the Corruptors are going to Caustic Spray down this next, and if that gets knocked down to a 2-base Protoss, well, Cristiana's going to be all in a 1 attack, and then we're really going to be asking, what do we do about the Archons? Because it's going to be the only question that we need to answer as Yakov. Deal with these Archons, and this game is done, and the answer to the Archons might just be he's going to overwhelm them so massively, it doesn't matter. But I'm not sure if we're really there on numbers yet. 10 Corruptors in the army supply of Yakov means that the army supply lead is maybe not as significant as you think when you look at the armies right now. Like, these 5 Archons are genuinely an issue. As meter count grows up, we can obviously just box them and not clump them. We're just going to go for the Prism. Fair enough. Don't mind that. You know your opponent's very committed here. Like, even if he's rebuilding the 3rd base, Cristiana is 100% looking to deal damage right now, so getting rid of the Prism stops some of the reinforcements. Gives you more of a chance to deal with these Archons, but man, I'm not loving having to be a believer in this. The Lings are going to come through, the Banes are going to come through, the Mutas are going to just have to go for it. There's not really much else you can do, and the Archons are going to begin their shredding of pretty much everything in existence. Yeah, what about the Archons was actually a very good question, because there was no answer. The Archons will win this game for Cristiana. He got forced to be very committed on one big attack, and there was just no way to deal with it. Like, there was no Roach Warren in this game, right? There was no way to build anything apart from... I think ideally as Yakov, if you see what's going on here, you're like, oh crap, right, okay. I've built around Mutas, now I build Roaches and I can't die to a counterattack, right? But he had no way to build Roaches. He didn't have that layer of defense available to him, and hence... GG's, and Cristiana will take the opening game. Wow, what a wild one. You could argue as well with only 2 Tempests, maybe the 10 Corruptors was overkill. What if he actually didn't build the Corruptors? No, you're wrong, the Corruptors did okay with Caustic Sprays. What if those 10 Corruptors were just Mutas? What if he just built Mutas from the start, used the 10 Mutas to like deal with the Tempests? That was your harassing force, and then instead of ever building more Mutas, you have like 10 Mutas of gas to build Roaches with, right? So I actually think that maybe would have been the better way to look at this. I actually think the Corruptors were just unnecessary. Like, yes, they're needed to kill the Tempest, but actually with only 2 Tempests, you probably could have just used them, you know, done it with Mutas instead, right? Very cool. Yo, what's up, Najib2? Thank you so much for the 6-month resub on the Prime. Super appreciate you priming us up. Guys, the sub count's doing great. We're at 620, despite, honestly, what's been a really rough month of streaming, just because obviously there's been so many events going on. EWC's coming up. It's hard to be consistently live every day. Like, this has not been a big month of streaming for me. The fact we're at 620 subs is incredible. Thank you so much for the support. Super appreciate it. I'm going to make sure you guys are rewarded with tons of StarCraft after EWC. We're going to be super consistent there because the sub count's already yelling at us to do it. So thank you so much for all the support. Appreciate it. And let's start appreciating some players as we get into game number 2. Bottom left. Felt like he had a chance, but one unit he just could not kill was the Archon. Yakov in the bottom left side will be down a game. The Archons came to his detriment as the upper right blue Protoss with the Archons on his side was Cristiana. I think he had enough time to respond with Roaches. It's like 2 minutes since he saw Archons. I think so too. But I think he also was like, he was like, I'm actually just going to double down on Mutas and just go for it. But he just didn't have that much money to do it with either, right? It was weird. I think he just made a misjudgment. I think he could have as well. But I think when he first saw them, he's like, okay, I can deal with that with just Mutas. And then it got away from him, right? I mean, it's kind of a weird game. Like, double Stargate's not common. Ling Bane busting a double Stargate player is not common. I imagine it's not a scenario that you've played out a lot of times as Yakov. I think really, because obviously he didn't build the Corruptors for a while, I think there really should have been an opportunity for him to notice that it was only 2 Tempests. Like, when you've never seen a 3rd and a 4th on your side of the map, and there was no Tempest at home against the Ling Bane, because it was after the Ling Bane bust that he built the Corruptors. I really think that just should have been Mutas, and that would have solved everything, because he could have either had like 25 Mutas and been like super deadly in a base trade, if nothing else, and the Archons never come across the map, or you actually just have money to 100% go Roaches as well as your Mutas that are going to hit, right? So I think that's where the real answer comes from. Just the Corruptors were not necessary in this case. Mutas would have done well enough. Fun game. Like I say, definitely a fairly unique one. Cristiana taking the 1-0 lead. Both these players are 1-1 in the group, so that's what we are competing for and competing with. Bulling's going after the probe for a moment, taking a second to step across the map. Stargate building about halfway done just for now, bringing that online. Couple Lings gonna fight, Queen gonna be at the front as well. Would you see the Ling speed, the Queen, Overlord and the Lings continue to build on through. Stargate gonna be finishing in a couple of moments as we get settled in. Just got on, anything left? Unfortunately, this is our last series of the day. As these Lings actually gonna get a jump on these Adepts. We're gonna see 1 and 2 going down. That's going to be a really nice grab, so both Adepts fall. A couple spores coming up, drones on the way through. Get that settled in. And we just have our hatchery coming up as well. So spores, all the rest of it, coming online for a moment or two. Get that settled. As yeah, a couple probes coming about, the warp gate coming online as well. You got all of that coming through for the moment. Couple things just turned back into the center. It's just going to be pulling away. We have got the melee upgrade coming about, the drone and the spore coming through as well. Game obviously looking a lot more regulated. Oracle. Only one Oracle into the trio of follow-ups, which is the Forge, the Robo, and the Twilight Council. Instantly into charge. Wow, so very quick charge. Probably like a charge on Archon kind of aggressive setup. Love to see that against the melee upgrade that Yakov's going into, right? It definitely gives Cristiana a bit of an edge army-wise. Zealots. I mean, just melee upgrades in general. Stalkers do not really want to like deal with melee upgrade lings. So if you're just going to bypass Stalkers and play like Charlotte Archon, it's going to take away a lot of the opportunity for the melee upgrade to kind of really kick into place. If you're going to build roaches against that, then they're not going to be upgraded because you've been focused on this melee upgrade. So Cristiana, I like his a little bit of a position here early on. The Devil takes some shots, couple drones going down. Just one attack charge coming through, the Spire on the way. We had a melee upgrade and the Roach speed in as well. Just going to get that up and rolling. More units warping in. The Archon begins to morph. We do have the 6 Roaches coming up, plus 1 missiles and the Roach speed coming across as well. Attack just going through, obviously Cristiana threatening with this army. Because I'm going to get shot at, just going to be seeing a couple of queens going after the prism again. Gonna be seeing the well, it's just gonna be good defensively. Like I say, this is what you want to do. You now have a missile upgrade coming up. The melee upgrade's just never been put into play, and that's the benefit of this opening from Cristiana against what Yakov was doing. Prism gets forced back though, and those zealots will be dealt with, and so Yakov is not in a bad place. Just, I mean, he is on his Spire, so he's gonna start going into mutas, and that's a revelation from the Oracle. Obviously, we're looking for scouting info, but he does not see the Spire. What he might see is the mutas popping out here. Actually could be kind of a big deal, right? So maybe a chance for him to notice what is up. 9 meters popping shortly. Bane's going to come in behind this. We have Storm on the way. Only producing double immortal because you're obviously prepping against all the roaches. Yakov will step up at the front and maybe try and threaten and keep your opponent a little bit afraid. But the real test is going to be with those mutas. And if you can hit a mineral line that has no cannon defense or no preparation, that would be a huge deal. Pylon going down. Next is going to be taking a bunch of shots. 1 Zealot and 1 Immortal coming across, and those Lings already taking big hits. Cancel will go down. Next comes in. Pylon will follow. The Roaches. Actually, a bunch of them getting caught in a stasis. That's scary because the Roaches don't have the ability to get away from that very easily. We're going to have to hope that these mutas really pull Cristiana around a little bit. Those few Lings really wanted this base, but they're not going to find it. It's low. And Cristiana has also got low amounts of defense against these mutas, so everything's going to get a little crazy. There's the Roaches popping out the stasis. They get absolutely jumped on. The mutas are going to come across to the natural. We're going to recall units to the natural to play defense. Already 14 workers dead. He recalls a Prism! Oh no, that ain't it! Prism is just going to get killed. That was not it at all. We are just going to go across the map here as Cristiana. So he's going to try and force a base trady scenario. I mean, we got Banes morphing in, we've got Ravagers, a lot of the defensive units coming up that would be helpful. I mean, we do also have the Storms available, though, as well, so that's very scary. I mean, obviously, Cristiana just has to go for it, so he doesn't have the luxury of picking and choosing his fight. One Archon at the front low. Not gone yet, though. That one Oracle going to be able to put some work in, too. There's a Queen that will deal with it. 44 workers dead and counting currently for Cristiana, as Yakov has more units spawning by the second. A few Zealots peeling away over here will get dealt with, and I mean, this army just has to commit. That is the problem, right? Like, this army has to commit, and it's getting into a decent spot. It's going to be in a good place, but I think more and more Roaches are going to keep you very safe here, and if you just get rid of the Archons, the Mutas can come home and deal with this. Recall's on cooldown, remember, so there's no way to recall this army and to try and buy more time. Mutas just going to come over. 2 Archons are not going to be enough. Storms are pretty much all used. Maybe there's 1 Storm remaining. The Mutas... Okay, that's not as many Mutas as I thought there was going to be. I guess they've been trading a little bit on the other side. Should realistically be kind of coming in with everything at once, I guess. The Mutas doing their thing. Another Archon shows up. The Muta's actually going to go down. Yakov, if you mess this up, is it not working? I mean, I think he should get the cleanup here in the end, but... he lost 40 workers now. He's not dealt with the Zealots hitting his mineral line still. His Zealots and High Templar showing up. There's not really much anti-est. I mean, Yakov is at 33 workers to 21 probes. Both players are going to be on 4 bases. Army supplies are nigh on non-existent. Cristiana has some money. He needs to start building workers because this game is going to continue, I think. I mean, what do you... I mean, do you just build workers? I think you do. He's going to start warping in some Zealots. Maybe he feels like he just has to go still, but I actually think Cristiana could just make probes and kind of stay in this for a bit. Maybe just going is still fine, because it's not like Yakov had a lot of army left after the previous round. It's more than a few banelings in right here. And yeah, Cristiana is just going to send it for another round across the map. He did kill the Roach Roar doing this, so we can't build Roaches currently. The Bane's obviously important. There's a lot of Zealots that have been warping in, so Banes are going to be very good against those, and that's going to be a necessity, it feels like, as Cristiana steps onto creep on the bottom side of the map. Speed to Banes. Great to charge in with, but you actually kind of want to make sure you connect. We do get rid of 1 Immortal with the Ravagers. Morlings coming up. I mean, now there's no Banelings, though. I mean, the Banes just shouldn't have ran in like that. Giving the Immortals a chance to just target fire and let the Zealots run. Yeah, we have to have some Banelings here. We need to be able to deal with these Zealots effectively. Yakov's kind of been running away, and now he's kind of back in the corner. He's going to burrow. Burrow the drones as well, no? Why do I want to burrow the drones? I could have burrowed the drones last time. Again, the Banelings don't do what they need to. It's very tense. I mean, now 6 more Banes coming. Surely these Banes should just connect at some point, though. Observer on the way so we can deal with the burrow. We're going to pop up. The Banes looking for the Zealots. This time we crash in a lot more easily. 1 Archon, 1 Immortal versus the Zerg world is not going to do it. As a few more Banes show up, the Zealots go down. GG from Cristiana, and we will go to a Game 3 between Yakov and Cristiana to wrap up our night of StarCraft 2. The 3rd map on the way in a moment as these two, yeah, deliver a little bit. Fun stuff. Very fun stuff. Pylon, going to be our map. Let's get this hosted. The lobby link goes down. Alright, got Cristiana here, just joined the lobby, so we just need him to ready up, and we will be going. Into Game 3, Yakov, it got as difficult as it could have gotten. Like, it really felt like he was just going to have what he needed to deal with this, and it just all started to go a little bit wrong. Going ready, so Cristiana and Yakov. We will kick off into Pylon. Alright, one final map today, guys. Comes down to this to wrap up today's European League. First half of round 3. And obviously we'll be live again tomorrow for the second half of round 3. And really figuring out how some of those final matches are going to begin to go. And then we're after the day, we're halfway through the Swiss stage, right? There's 5 rounds, and this is halfway through the 3rd round, so it's been a bunch of fun so far, it really has. But it's also time for us to dive in here, and let's get going on Pylon for map number 3 of this series. In the bottom right, it is going to be our red Protoss player. We have ourselves Cristiana. Taking on the blue Zerg in the top left. These two have been giving us some great PvZ. Let's see if it continues from the Zerg side. Yakov. Yeah, it's a very fun way of playing Zerg right now. Like the Ling Bane busts and the Trying to invest into the mutas and get those involved and so on is very cool. Been very fun, for sure. Alright, final map of the night. It's actually been a nice stream as well. We're going to get to 3.5 hours of length, which is, I think, very respectable for the 6 best of 3s. You know, we estimate 3 hours. Some of the days recently have been so fast and so quick going. I've been kind of amazed by how quickly we've gotten through some of the matches the last couple of weeks. Round 1 had a really fast day, round 2 had a really fast day, but, you know, as the tournament goes on as well, you should, in theory, have fairer and fairer matchups happening, so as long as that happens, that should be a pretty big deal. Should help a lot with the length of the stream, so good to see. How much time between rounds? So obviously between rounds 1, 2, and 3 it's been pretty quick because round 1 was on Thursday last week and round 3 ends tomorrow. But after tomorrow we're going to be gone for the, you know, over the weekend. So next round will be Tuesday and Thursday next week. And the round after that will be after EWC, which will then lead us straight into the playoffs. So what's up? Around then bam. Thank you so much for the 6-month resub. Still want to say around the barn every time you sub. I know I say it every time. I know it's getting probably very repetitive. It literally goes through my head and I have to stop. I was literally about to say I had to stop myself again. It really amazed me how much my brain does not want to see the way your name is written. Crazy. Couple links. We'll chase a probe, Stargate, Nexus. Coming through, we've got the Adept and the Warp Gate coming up as well. Add that link speed, add the Queen, add a drone. A little bit of everything coming up for the moment. Obviously the Stargate, very standard. And last game, Cristiana, just that singular Oracle before going into the follow-up. And just jumps in. Probe is going to take some damage. The Adept will fire. And we just see in the main base. It's going to get going as well. Obviously get rid of that Ling. It's some nice scouting, but that's about all it is. Few Lings, couple of Overlords, Ling speed. Continuing up for the moment. Oracle and the Warp Gate coming through as well. Oracle building, the Warp Gate about to finish. So we get in a couple of probes. Continuing up as well, and the Oracle's still heading to that upper left side. A few Lings peeling around the left. Gonna set up between the natural and third base for a couple of moments too. And those Lings want to threaten the Adept right there. They're gonna go for the cancel on the third, and the Oracle is not in position at all to deal with this. That's a cancel. That's a pretty significant cancel for sure. The Oracle here will activate as the Lings. They wanted to get that probe, but it pylon blocked itself in to keep it safe. Plus a couple of Lings. Still delays the Nexus a couple extra seconds. Good start from Yakov. Obviously, you do commit to those Lings more so than you needed to, realistically. So, you know, it is great for you to do that damage, but it did come at a cost. This wasn't just a freebie. You know, you invested into something to make this happen. As the Lings come back, man, forcing the Oracles to activate again. I mean, forcing the Oracles to activate means less than it used to. Ooh, the distraction, though, because this Oracle low. It means less than it used to because obviously Oracles can recharge and get their energy back, so activating to clean up a few Lings is always worth it, whereas in the past, forcing the activation, running away, again, it kind of pained the Oracles a little bit, so nowadays not quite so much. Oracle around the top side. Feelings. I'm going to find another probe. I mean, Yakov great with the activity so far. Doing a really good job of that for the moment. And Dep's going to be there. Lings get turned away again. +1 charge. Continue to come out. Temple Archives and the robotics facility being brought up as well. Rotron not ready yet. We have 12 more Lings popping. Going to need them to help against this Adept Oracle combo. They're going to get in a good position too. Stasis gets cancelled. The Spore is in reach of the Oracle, so that's nice. Oracle just runs away, which means the Queen's help as well, and these Adepts are fighting. Oh, wow, we cancelled the second Stasis Ward as well. What a shutdown! Didn't lose a drone. Didn't really lose many Lings. Neither Stasis Ward even got close to completing. Yakov absolutely destroying that aggressive attempt from Cristiana, and that one just goes down the drain. No success at all. Now Roach Speed and Overlord Speed coming up as well, so Yakov maybe looking to get aggressive this game. Maybe some Queens across the map. I mean, maybe he just likes what he's been able to do so far and feels as though a big aggressive hit has a lot of opportunity. And I don't really disagree. I actually think he has a lot of opportunity here to see some success, so I'm kind of with him at the moment as the Lings come back over. More shots coming in. Stasis catches a few Lings. Obviously, Storm is not ready yet, as the Dropper Lord is loading the Queens up. Doesn't have speed yet, but it will do soon. It's really nice for these Oracles to maybe see what's going on, recognize what's happening. Cristiana is so close to so much. Storm, halfway. Charge is going to be done. Extra gates are mostly going to be finishing. This is currently 67 to 16 army supply. A lot of the army supply is in the form of High Templar, which currently can't even storm. And even when they can, High Templar storming Roaches is not always going to be the #1 thing. Depends how the Roaches are set up too. The Queens drop off and we begin to fight. There's just no way to hold this third base. We don't have like the immediate units here that you need, as these Roaches don't have the speed, so they can't chase the Stormers down super easily. I mean, if he pulled a few, if he kind of split the Roaches a bit there, that would have been way more effective. But it kept chasing in. I mean, even still, the few Storms that come down have been very minimal. And now they morph into Archons. I mean, Yakov just going to sit and take this third base out. The Probe's going down. I mean, honestly, as Cristiana, I think when you saw this third base was in so much trouble, these Probes should have been long gone. Giving, Yakov 15 workers when there was never a chance he saved that base probably didn't do much for you. I mean, maybe he just felt like he needed genuine time to build units, and just leaving the Probes there made him focus on the third. I don't know. Nothing really mattered. Yakov is going to get the win. He's going to go up to 2-1 in this Swiss group stage. And with that victory, Yakov is going to put himself as one of the better standing Zergs in the tournament right now. Cristiana drops down to 1-2. Still very doable. I think a player that can absolutely bounce back. But I mean, 1-2 is a really scary place to be, because if you're 1-2, you might end up playing against Showtime to keep yourself in the tournament playoff chances, right? That is not fun. Like, that's why 1-2 is going to be super scary. 2-1, you're going to get a second chance even if you don't win at 2-1. But yeah, 1-2 is a super, super scary place to be right now. No doubt about that in the slightest. Guys, that's going to round us out for today's WardiTV European League. Let's have a little look at where we are at with the Wikipedia page. So we'll just go from top to bottom on the rankings. Currently, obviously, Heromarine. There's only 1 2-0 match today. Heromarine wins that, so he's top of the group right now after beating ByuN out 2-0. Tomorrow, Uthermal plays against Skillers, and MaxBax plays against Harston. Mana, with a win over Sebastes, his third PvP in a row in the tournament, will get to 2-1, joining Bion, who obviously we just mentioned lost to Heromarine. Yakov joins those guys at 2-1 alongside Goblin, with wins over Cristiana and Showtime that were today as well. Tomorrow, Shameless and Scarlet play each other at 1-1. Percival is going to be playing against Nikaract at 1-1, and Jumi will be playing against Night Phoenix at 1-1. All of those guys looking to get up to 2-1 or drop down to that 1-2. And then there's one final 0-2 matchup tomorrow, which will be Hydra versus Art, as they battle for their first win in the competition for some prize money and to potentially keep playoff hopes alive. So we'll see what everyone's up to tomorrow as we come back for more European League at the same time as today. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I really appreciate you all being here. I hope you've all had a fantastic little evening with us. It's been a ton of fun. I've really enjoyed it, actually. I'm really enjoying these EU League casts. I think the format's really helping. Seeing like a bunch of different players in a row. Again, a variety of players. Like, we've got some of the top dogs of Europe. We've got some of the underdogs of Europe. And now they're starting to play each other as well. I feel like it gets very fun. I think there is like a real joy in just getting to see 6 matchups, which are 6 different players, you know? I feel like sometimes when you have the group stages and it's like, okay, we're going to watch 3 games of Bob in a row, and Bob's not having a good day. And, 2 matches into watching Bob lose, it's like, oh, I'm kind of sad right now. But every match is fresh in this one. This format's been great. So yeah, this format really has been pretty great so far. So excited for it to continue. Again, we'll be back tomorrow with more SC2. I will see you guys there. You guys have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys, like I said, tomorrow for more StarCraft action with the European League once again. Bye! Why have I got to call out Bob like that? Bob really pissed me off last time I talked to him, so I'm going to tell you about how much Bob loses every time I get a chance. Alright guys, see you later. Thanks so much for watching. Set of ads on the outro and we'll host someone up and spread the StarCraft love. Bye!